to the 8 o'clock kickoff as Motherwell look to get back on track after defeat at Ibrox on Saturday, and for Celtic looking to build on a couple of medicinal victories against Aberdeen and then against Livingston at the weekend. They had their moments of angst in those two fixtures as well, but I think that's just going to be the way of it for Wilfried Nancy and his players. I'm joined here at the back of the main stand at a freezing cold Fir Park by Derek Lilly and Paddy Bonner, who'll be doing the commentary alongside me this evening. I will keep you up to date with what's happening in the other games as we go along as well, including these 15 minutes that we await the kick-off here in Lanarkshire. Paddy, firstly, the incentive for Celtic is clear. A victory and they go level on points with Hearts at the top of the table, having played the same number of matches.
Yes, and it's a big incentive, isn't it, tonight, considering when the manager came in and he lost those 4 games and you thought, oh wow, this is going to go, a lot of people thought it anyway, it was going to go very, very negative and it was going to go downhill from there on in, but he's been able to stabilise things by getting those 2 results, and it puts them in a great position now to go up joint with Hearts, albeit Hearts will be, well, depends how many goals are scored here tonight. I don't know what the goal difference
Celtic
is.
need to win by 5 goals.
The amount of chances they're making in games now, Liam. Motherwell
haven't conceded a goal in their last 5 games.
That's an incredible stat. I was listening to the guys talking about it, and that's a stat that when you're thinking about it and you're saying the way Celtic are playing attacking wise, and then you look at the defensive qualities, I just don't think that. I think there will be goals. I'll be shocked. I would be shocked if there's not goals in this game tonight. With the way that both teams are set up, and particularly Celtic, and Nancy did reference attacking and defending. I just wonder what he's going to do defensively. He's going to play Scales left centre back. Will he ask him to sit a little bit more away from home, or will he bomb on that left hand side to support Tierney, who will push further forward? Really interesting. We were trying to work it out here how Motherwell was going to set up. They're obviously going to go probably with a back 4. We did see a little bit of a warm up. I know Rory mentioned a warm up earlier on in this piece from his game at Livingston, but here we've seen a warm up, and it was actually running through an attacking phase through the middle of the, from the back to the middle of the field, and then sort of up to the forwards. But I'm just trying to look at how they would be set up. I think they want to match up Celtic in the middle of the field, because that's where Celtic's strength is at the moment. They've got 4 players in there, and if they have good possession, Negrin is the one that he will get in the box and he will get chances. He might score 2, but he might miss 4. But that's the way he plays.
He's top scorer now as well.
He's top scorer, and he's in the box all day. So somebody has to deal with that. Somebody has to match him up. Is it a centre half? You've only have to go with the back 4. It's 2 centre halves. So it's got to be a midfielder that's given that responsibility to track him, go with him. Not easy to do that when you're running back towards your own goal at times. But I think they have to match up. So if they match up in the middle of the pitch with a back 4, it's almost like a box of 4 and maybe 2 up front, or one will have to take care of Scales if he bombs on in that right hand side, or is it a midfielder that's going to slide across and somebody drops in? A lot of questions, and it's good for us sitting here looking at it and thinking about it tactically. I'm really looking forward to the game from that perspective, Liam.
Well, in case you missed the teams earlier, we'll get Derek's thoughts in just a moment, but the team news is that for Motherwell, they've made 3 changes from the match at Ibrox on Saturday. So their lineup: Ward in goal, Katrumbas, O'Donnell, McGinn and Sparrow potentially over on that left side, with Fadinger, Watt and Priestman in the middle. Justin Slattery supporting Saeed up front for Celtic. Schmeichel in goal, Ralston, Trusty, Scales, Yang, McGregor, Hitati, Tierney, Negrin, Bernardo and Maida. Derek, for Motherwell, we know how they're going to play. We know they're going to have perhaps more of the ball than some of the teams at Celtic generally come up against. Celtic are around about 70% average possession this season. Motherwell are sitting on 60.
Yeah, they're very comfortable on the ball, that's for sure. They're a very well coached team. They like playing out to the back. They'll play it into the middle, go back to the goalkeeper. They don't mind having a few passes and knocking it about. They do move, they rotate in the middle of the park. And they're very, very comfortable, and they pick teams off when they break forward. As I said earlier, break forward with a purpose. I think, as Pat was alluding to earlier on, how they were shaping up. I don't know if the full-backs might be round the other way in terms of how they do that. But I think the one thing that I've noticed here, I've done a Livingston game, I think there was 7 changes that game. There'll be changes to the Rangers game, there's changes, but there's a real fluidity. The changes don't really seem to upset the flow of the team and how they play football, so it just gives you an idea of how well the overall team's coach and players come in, they do their job. I'm expecting fireworks tonight, I'm expecting goals. I think both teams are, Motherwell going forward, they fancy themselves, they're confident. Celtic have had 2 good wins, they're creating a hell of a lot of chances. They do concede a few goals, but interestingly, as was touched on, defensively Motherwell are pretty solid. They don't concede too much. They've not conceded many goals here at all this season, and if any, and you've got O'Donnell and McGuinness, 2 really experienced centre halves, and expecting them in the middle of the park, and they could be pivotal tonight.
They've conceded 16 goals in the league this season, Motherwell, same as Celtic. Actually, 3 of those goals did come at Celtic Park. At least one of them was avoidable, and the one that won the game in the end, it was an error by Callum Ward. Of course, at the time, Askew was asked after the match about the way he likes to play the game, out from the back, and the goalkeeper is essentially an outfield player as well, and at that point he was being not criticised for the style of play, and it led to the fact they dropped a point at Celtic Park. But he was asked about, is he lamenting the decision at that stage of a match in Glasgow against one of the big 2 clubs in Glasgow, when you're on the verge of a point, they were winning the game for a while there. Is it the right thing to do at that period in the match?
Yeah, I suppose that it's all about the confidence of the manager and what his beliefs are and his style of play. And I think, giving the players the confidence to do things and giving them the confidence to make mistakes, if that makes sense, because ultimately, if you make a mistake and you see players going into their shells, and the fans getting top of them, and you just said there was a bit of uncertainty at the time about how this was going to unfold, but as the season go on, the team has grown and grown, and they're really, really comfortable. Just says the goalkeeper's becoming pivotal at the back. He's coming out, he's on the ball, he's quite comfortable, pass it in the middle of the park, and I think, there's obviously a lot of belief for managers putting on the players, and the players are bought into it. There's no doubt about that, and I think they're reaping the rewards, for the style of play and the games of won and where their position is in the league, is true to, they're sticking to what they believe in.
Liam, you've got 2 managers here that really believe in a certain way of playing.
They do.
And I don't think they're going to change. The Celtic manager, I don't think will change in any way, and I'm sure Askew, who's done remarkably well with a group of players where he has to take them in, work with them. He's had a wee bit longer than the Celtic manager to work with him, but I don't think he'll change his style. Elliot Watt in the middle of the pitch is a very, very important player for them.
He's been brilliant.
He's been brilliant for a man who's come and adapted probably his game, maybe never asked to hold that responsibility before, to actually play through him, and he gets on the ball and knows that. Now, tonight he's got to be absolutely sure. His control's got to be at his time on the ball. When he gets on the ball, he's got to be absolutely sure that everything is perfect, because Celtic closed down really quickly. You'd even see Maeda coming in off the left, running after people, and with his pace and power, if you're not sure on the ball at any time, they'll nick it off you, and that's when it become really, really dangerous.
The draws have been a big problem for Motherwell, 9 of them this season, because they've actually lost a game fewer than Celtic have this season. So it's draws that's preventing them from being further up where they are. And they're sitting 4th as we come into this game tonight, which is decent shooting for Motherwell when you consider the budgetary advantages that clubs behind them in the Premiership have. If they could have turned 2 or 3 of those into victories, they'd be right in there, wouldn't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Like a game against Rangers at the weekend was testament to that. The 3 chances in the first half where you really need to take at least one of them, to get their noses in front. I think if they had done it, it'd been a different ending to the game. And you just not converting those chances, and at this level you get punished if you don't score your goals, especially when you come up against the bigger teams.
Yeah, and I watched them earlier in the season, and that would be the one thing they hadn't a striker that was going to put the ball in the back of net. With all the good play they've had, building the game, fantastic, and they've got players in those forward areas that just they don't just pass for the sake of pass. They've got a little trick in them. You know, it's a surprise pass, it's a disguised pass, little flick around the corner, catches teams out. But inside the box, that's where you've got to go.
I kind of laugh at that because I've heard that quite a lot this season. Tawanda Maswanise is unavailable again tonight. He's been away with Zimbabwe at the African Cup of Nations, scored a wonderful goal against South Africa last night. They are out, so he'll be back soon. He scored 12 for them this season. He's right up there in the scoring charts.
Yeah, and I think
maybe he needs support. Is that what?
Yeah,
I
think that's it. You know, when you've got somebody who scored 12 goals, and probably there's not that many more goals spread amongst the rest of the team. You know, you need more midfielders chipping in, getting 3 and 4 goals. Charles Reagan-Cook on the left-hand side, he's injured tonight. You know, is it Stammer, the Australian centre forward as well?
Stamatopoulos,
yeah. That's a bit of a mouthful, that name, but anyway, yeah. So, but yeah,
I
went for the shortened version there.
Derek, it takes a while.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, you're right.
Say it slowly.
Yeah, you're right. You know, I think that's it. You know, if you've got somebody that's so pivotal to scoring the goals, it's not that you become reliant on it. You don't take it for granted, but it's just somebody in a good streak of form. But you need somebody to lighten that load, because at some point he's either not going to be here, he's going to be injured. You know, he's going to dry up. The goals will dry up a wee bit, and you just, as being part we're talking about earlier on, you know, who else they need? And I think we've all been saying that. You know, need somebody, another maybe 10 or 12 goals a year striker or attacking midfielder that can just help lighten the load a bit for Maswanise, because obviously if he's not in the team, it's having an impact.
Derek, there was times when strikers scored 20, 30
well,
goals.
I know, exactly. Yeah, I know.
and you were up there with 2. You played in a 2 up front. Different game.
It is, you know, I think that's it. You just need a bit of support. And, you know, in the high intensity play, the way the modern game's played now, breaking forward, you don't always have that many bodies in the box, you know, and as Pat is saying, long gone the days we've got partnerships where there's 2 up there, so it's a different, the game's changed so much now, but they do need more goals.
It is 0-0 across the 4 matches that kicked off at 7:45. Just a reminder, if you're looking for the Rangers St Mirren game, that's on BBC Radio Scotland FM and on Sounds this evening. But it's goals at Dens, at Easter Road, at Amon Vale and at Ibrox, still in the relatively early stages of those matches. The 2 sets of players are led out by the referee, Kevin Clancy. I just wanted to mark a significant anniversary yesterday, and it affected both these clubs. 18 years and 1 day since that awful afternoon here when Phil O'Donnell passed away, having been on the pitch playing against Dundee United. It was a game that I covered for Sports Sound. Obviously had terrific careers both at Motherwell, his hometown club. He had 2 spells in the Claret and Amber, and he was at Celtic as well. He was down at Sheffield Wednesday. Cracky, I mean, I can't believe that's 18 years incredible. Now that have passed since that awful day here.
Yeah.
And I know in Motherwell yesterday they marked it, and it's such poignancy. Even now, it still feels raw.
Yeah, and such a fantastic young man. He was at Celtic. I was there at Celtic at the time when we signed him with Tommy. He was a runner. He got himself in the box. He scored goals. Yes, he had injuries, which was a pity at that stage of his career. He picked up a lot of injuries. But what a brilliant lad, brilliant man to have in around the dressing room. And you know, there was never an issue with Phil O'Donnell. Any manager's delight to be around, and to pass so early in his life and his family and his wife and all of that.
Yeah.
And it takes a long time. I don't think you ever get over those things when it happens so young to somebody like that. But he's well remembered, which is the great thing.
Yes, indeed, Phil O'Donnell, who died 18 years ago yesterday. And our thoughts as ever with the O'Donnell family and all of Phil's friends as well. So just about ready to go here at Fir Park. It's going to be Celtic who are going to kick this one off, and the green and white hoops going right to left towards the Davy Cooper stand, with Motherwell and the Claret and Amber shooting towards the big south stand, which is chock full of Celtic supporters. And it will be the champions. They're going to make it 3 successive wins under Nancy, who kick off, laid back to McGregor, who in turn turns it back to Ralston, and then back to the centre point of the Celtic defence in Austin Trusty, to Scales, who rolls it back to Casper Schmeichel. Remember, Motherwell, 35 meetings since they last beat Celtic. That was at Parkhead. just over a decade ago, as that slipped forward towards Maida. Just had it pitched off him there by Priestman, who's come into the Motherwell side this evening, with Elliot Watt doing a job there as well. It's back with O'Donnell at the edge of his box. A poor ball out of defence though. Tierney to Nygren with a little back heel, which is cut out, and it breaks into the midfield for Motherwell. Now they get an opportunity to drive forward through Lucas Fadigar, who is fouled there by the returning Celtic captain McGregor, and that's going to be a Motherwell free kick midway inside Celtic territory. McGregor's complaining, but I'm not sure he gave Kevin Clancy too much option there.
Yeah, it's so early in the game, he probably didn't go to his pocket and book him. It was kind of almost, he lost the ball, Callum. He got caught. I don't know what happened to him. It's not like him in the middle of the pitch. He got caught in the ball, and the ball was necked, and then sort of almost the space opened up, and Motherwell midfielder was driving forward, and he just clipped the back of his heels.
A couple of Motherwell players over at Slattery and just, Derek.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think, they see how congested it is in the middle of the park, the midfield, so it could be a sign of how the game's going to pan out.
Elijah Just with the free kicks, flicked away there and out for a throw-in by Kieran Tierney, who as usual is sporting the short sleeves despite the sub-zero temperature here in North Lanarkshire. It's out for a Motherwell throw-in, level with the Celtic 18-yard line on this near side. And it's going to be bowled back the way to O'Donnell, one of those who return to the fray for this one, and then infield to the skipper Paul McGinn, who has yet to beat Celtic in his career in 26 previous attempts. He never managed it. Out to Tom Sparrow, who appears to have started wide on the right. A little short ball out to this near side for Slattery, played back to Priestman, into the midfield for Watt. Motherwell trying to find a way through Celtic here. Motherwell will have plenty of the ball, perhaps more than any other side who normally come up against Celtic. Celtic 78-80%, it is no surprise, but here come Well. It's just low ball across towards the 6-yard line, here by Trusty, and out for a Motherwell throw-in. And the hosts have set their stall out here, 2.5 into the match, 0-0, but it's Motherwell on the front foot here in the very early stages. So it's bowled infield to Just, but it just drops off his toe and out for a Celtic throw-in on this near side.
I think they're already starting to see how confident Motherwell look on the ball.
Yeah, just the 7 victories this season, but their play has impressed plenty. Against Bertolascu, would want to see more points on the board than they have managed to register. The midway point of the season, it's bowled back to O'Donnell. Up into the air it goes. McGinn will just nod it calmly back to Callum Ward, the Motherwell goalkeeper. He has his gloves on it here, and it's always interesting when Celtic come up against a team, Pat, that are on the front foot from the early stages. No fear.
Yeah, well, they're on the front foot because they got the ball down and passed it, and the goalkeeper very heavily involved. He's just been out of the edge of his box that time and tried to pass higher up the pitch, and it was cut out.
Scales under pressure from Slattery, rolls it back to Schmeichel, who's returned to the Celtic starting 11 tonight after Sinisalu's cameo at Livingston on Saturday. As that bounces out of play for a Celtic throw-in.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Motherwell, the way they're set up, obviously with their back 4. They've got those 4 in the middle of the pitch, and then they've got Just and Syed almost playing as a front 2, trying to get in contact with the 3 centre halves and putting them under pressure, not letting Celtic dominate from the back.
It's an interesting setup for Motherwell tonight. We're expecting Saeed to play right through the middle there, but as Pat was suggesting, Elijah Just is very much up there in support. It's Just trying to get there ahead of Scale. Scale slides in, wins it, but gives it straight to Watt. Out to that far side, Katrumbis laid back to Watt. He turns it back to McGinn. He'll switch it left to right of the centre circle for O'Donnell. Forward to Slattery, out to this near side. There's there might have been a couple of fouls there, but it's the one on Slattery that's been penalised. Sparrow played the ball to him. Yeah. Slattery's wiped out, and it's going to be a free kick to Motherwell on this right-hand side, just inside Celtic territory.
Yeah, Motherwell started off really well, moving the ball, but the movement of the players off the ball too is a critical factor. Goalkeeper obviously being the spare player at the back, and they'll play to him, and then they'll link in with Elliot Watt, which they've done now, and there's a ball over the top, but Schmeichel will read it.
Yeah, it's back with Kasper Schmeichel. Derek?
Yeah, I think that's the way Motherwell play. You know, they're happy to sort of suck teams in, sit the ball at the back, but they'll quickly put a ball over the top. And I think it's been quite interesting as well. They seem to be quite, like, Trusty's been left alone at the back. I think there's a sides dropping off, Justice dropping off. They're quite happy to leave the Celtic defenders, drop back in, and then really that midfield area is becoming so congested. And the minute Celtic any possession as they are just now, they just close them down.
Well, Celtic felt there was a foul on Bernardo there. He was midway inside his own half. He did get it back to Scales though. He takes most of the contention out of the decision from the official. And that long ball from Ralston down the right is easily headed away by McGinn. And then flicked up, helped on its way towards the halfway line by Oscar Priestman. Drops into the centre circle. Slattery wins it off Bernardo. He's making just his third league start of the season for the champions tonight. It's played out to the left side and Katrumbas rolls it back to McGinn. He's left to the centre circle, then back out to Katrumbas. Normally starts on the right, he's out on the left today. Trusty, it's not a great touch facing his own goal, but there's an offside flag up against Elijah Just on this near side. And Celtic have a free kick as they try and settle. 6.5 in, Motherwell 0, Celtic 0.
Yeah, that ball's on though, down the side of the centre half, so obviously, you know, once one of them has to step out and confront somebody, that leaves the 2v2 at the back, and there's lots of space for them for Motherwell to exploit.
Yeah, I'm looking at it just now as well. I mean, Celtic at some points is 4v4 going forward, you know, so the game's getting so stretched, you know. The minute you get a bit of possession,
Celtic they've given it away. It drops to the edge of the box. McGregor under pressure, bundles it back to Scales, who turns 180 degrees facing his own goalkeeper before rolling it out to Trusty, who chips it forward. Motherwell by far the brighter team at the moment. Celtic still trying to bed themselves in as McGregor plays it to Ralston, and Derek Lilly can perhaps finish his sentence now.
Yeah, no, just going to say, I mean, we'll talk about earlier on, Packy was saying about are Motherwell going to press them, and they're going to get in their faces, and that's exactly what they're doing. They're going for them, matching them toe to toe, and they're already causing Celtic problems at the back.
Bernardo on the near side rolls it back to McGregor. Even in those two defeats in the league that Celtic suffered under Wilfred Nancy, they had more than enough chances to win both of them. As Tierney picks up left-hand side of the Motherwell box, first real attack of note for Celtic. It's to Bernardo, back out wide for Tierney. His ball in, clear by O'Donnell. Hatate finds Callum McGregor. Calmly with the left foot, rolls it to the right angle of the box for Ralston, who crosses in. A header at goal is over onto the roof of the net from Yang, and it stays Motherwell 0, Celtic 0. But really the first opportunity for Celtic to bare their teeth in the match, Pat.
Yeah, first bit of good play. It all came from a penetrating pass from McGregor into Bernardo, and then that allowed him then to get down the sides, and eventually they kept good possession to create a little opportunity. I think it was Yang that maybe headed over the crossbar, but that was Celtic's best bit of play so far.
O'Donnell's long ball forward, knocked on the chest by Just back the way. He was towards Elliot Watt, who was then brought crashing to the ground right of the centre circle. I think Motherwell felt there might have been an advantage there. There certainly was a couple of runners ahead. Fadinger was one of them. It's been brought back for the free kick.
Yeah, Kevin Clancy being a little bit sort of afraid to take maybe so early in the game to book somebody, but I think the next late tackle by a Celtic player, whoever it is, will probably end up in his book.
Motherwell's they've been very clever. They're sucking some of the Celtic players into positions the part they don't want to be in. You know, Scales a bit isolated, and you know, obviously getting tight and causing the foul.
It remains goalless across the 5 Premiership matches being played this evening. Hearts and Falkirk both idle. There's a long ball there by Ward, headed away by Tierney. Out to this near side, it drops to Maida, whose touch takes it out for a throw-in from this near side. Maida had Celtic 1-0 up inside the opening minute the last time they were here.
Yeah, I think this type of matches, who's going to be the bravest? Who's going to be the ones that's going to dictate the game and get control of the game and get on the ball in tight spaces? And they're all matched up around the pitch. Obviously a different shape from Motherwell at the back compared to Celtic, but in the middle of the pitch as 4v4.
Yeah, you do feel as if it's maybe going to be one of those when the ball get played in, somebody will nick it, somebody will make a mistake, and that's where the goal's going to come from, because it is so well matched up. Both teams full of confidence, quite happy to take the ball in dangerous areas and tight areas of the pitch.
It is absolutely freezing here tonight. Scales goes back to Schmeichel, who's got the Under Armour on tonight, the Celtic goalkeeper. Plays it short there along the deck to McGregor, and then out to Ralston, who goes back to Trusty. 10 in, 0-0 at Fir Park.
Yeah, this is where Trusty needs a little bit of more movement higher up the pitch when he gets the ball. He's waiting, and then suddenly struggles a little bit to hit the pass.
Tierney's ball across from O'Donnell, slack clearance is blocked, it's out for a throw-in to the visitors on this near side, level with the Motherwell 18-yard line. Tierney pulls it back to Scales, who then finds Trusty, squares it to the right of the centre circle for Ralston. Then out to Nygren, that's a poor ball, he's giving it straight to Elijah Just, he's got a chance to slip it to Fadinger, to his left, and he might be in here, left hand side of the box, comes off Trusty, Fadinger gets back onto it, momentum's been taken away, but it's Saeed down the far side, gets his cross in via a deflection, it's cleared on the 18-yard line by Maida. Trusty's gone to ground inside the box. I would expect a stoppage in play here, which will infuriate the Motherwell fans. There it is, Trusty down. Kevin Clancy goes to make sure he's okay, and it's Motherwell 0, Celtic 0. But my goodness, Pat, Benjamin Nygren's breathing an almighty sigh of relief after that.
Well, they lost a goal against Livingston exactly the same. I know that square midfield where you're trying to maybe hit square passes, but in a bad area like that where you're high up the pitch, and once that ball comes square, Motherwell look at two up front, and it's an easy nick, and then they're on the attack, and that's what's caused Trusty. I think he must have sort of went over in his ankle and he just got a nick on the ball at the vital time, just as Saeed was going to go and have a strike at goal.
Yeah, and I think that's what Motherwell have been noticeably so good at, throughout the whole season, is when they win the balls in those high up areas, they break really quickly, and they've got 2 or 3 bodies up front bursting forward. Again, it's just maybe that final ball, and I think Saeed, his legs ran out of steam a little bit there, but Trusty got back and covered up to prevent an opportunity on goal there. But I think, yeah, this game's finally poised. I'm really looking forward to it, and hopefully we'll get a goal.
Nothing as yet, nothing across the country as yet in this midweek card. It is going to be an uncontested drop ball in Motherwell's favour. He's back towards the halfway line, and Priestman knocks it back to O'Donnell, who will then first time on the right foot move it out to Sparrow. This near side touchline, it's back with O'Donnell, and Sparrow and Katrumbas are playing up so high, and there's that long ball towards Sparrow, comes off Tierney and out for a Motherwell throw-in. Sparrow's over it, balls it back to O'Donnell. He and McGinn both being left pretty isolated at the back, and it's a dangerous game to play, particularly against Celtic. But here is an opportunity for Priestman to play it forward. It's cut out now for a Motherwell throw-in level with the Celtic penalty spot on this near side. 13 minutes in, 0-0.
Yeah, normally, with a back three like Celtic, you'll have 1 deeper and 2 picking up as such. But it's almost they play a straight line. There's a great ball in.
Oh, it's a brilliant ball. The header's in. Saeed. What a cross from the right. And Ibrahim Saeed nods it past Schmeichel to give Motherwell the lead as the number 90 comes over here to celebrate with his manager. A massive goal for the Steelmen, who haven't beaten the champions in a decade. But Saeed has got their Motherwell fans dreaming now. Motherwell 1, Celtic 0.
What a ball that was into the box, it floated high into the box. Bit of a question mark, could Schmeichel have came for the ball? The ball's travelled a long way. I mean, Saeed's taken up a great position in between the 2 defenders, and it's a good finish. He's tucked it away. Might be a question mark, Pat, on Schmeichel.
Well, a starting point. A starting position's got to be higher up. He's almost needs to be starting around the 6-yard box. Then he can always drop deep. The ball's played over the centre half. I don't think the centre half could get there. It was a great ball, bending ball, but it was dropping over the top of the centre half, but straight on to the head. He's got to be in a position where he starts around the 6-yard box and comes and deal with that, because I think that ball's travelled probably 30-40 yards.
Yeah, easy.
I think we were relatively unsighted here, but I think it was Stephen O'Donnell's cross that found the head of Saeed. It was sumptuous, and Saeed had a really simple task in the end of just bundling it over the line to give Motherwell the lead. And I think on the balance of play, Celtic have seen plenty of the ball, but Motherwell have been the more positive with it, and they'll feel they've got a deserved lead here 15 minutes in.
Listen, you know, when you have a centre half on the opposite side getting the ball on the halfway line and he's able to play that pass, he's just over the halfway line. That travels so far. You've got to be in a position where you can deal with it from a goalkeeper's perspective.
Yeah, somebody's got to deal with that. I mean, see, the ball has travelled so far. I mean, even a centre, somebody needs to take control of that situation. The ball coming into the box. But fair play to Motherwell.
And Celtic in trouble again here, just putting the pressure on Scales, who holds him off well and gets it back to Schmeichel. Smuggled back to the goalkeeper, who then turn it out to the right hand side for Ralston. Celtic have been hit with a haymaker early on here, and once again Wilfred Nancy's champions are back against the ropes. But there's a lovely long ball forward towards Tierney. He's up to the edge of the area. Sparrow battles to win it back row expertly well, and then it's played out to Katrumbas. Down the line it goes. It eventually drops to Slattery, who was got crashing to the ground by Ralston, and that's a Motherwell free kick over on the far side. Celtic are in a bit of trouble here.
Yeah, but that's what I was saying also. You can look at the centre halves. When you have three at the back, you know, you've got three defenders, you've got 3v2. Somebody's got to match that centre forward. You know, if it goes over Trusty's head, then it's going to be the next centre half that's going to be in a position where he can actually deal with it, and they weren't in that position.
Yeah, it just seems so easy, you know, that long ball into the box and simple header. You know, there's been good build-up play by Motherwell all along, but yeah, it seems to be a long not a speculative ball, but a nice ball played into the box about the goal from. You know, so yeah, I think there's big question marks about Celtic's defending on.
I think the Motherwell fans not happy with a couple of challenges from some Celtic players, but I think they're just shielding the ball. It didn't look like there was too much in that. Listen, since Motherwell last beat Celtic, their record: played 35, drawn 5, lost 30, scored now 22, conceded 101.
Yeah, listen, I talked before the game. If you get control of it, you've got to get control of the game. Celtic haven't been able to do that. That's why they can't get up the pitch. And Motherwell is the team that's in control, putting them under pressure, getting the ball even in the middle of the pitch. When they get it, they look as if they're the ones that want to go and attack Celtic. There they are again, under pressure, high press. Celtic back to the goalkeeper, struggling to get up the pitch.
Yeah, I think they're looking forward. When Celtic are on the ball at the back, they look forward. All they're seeing is Motherwell strips. They're not seeing a Celtic strip. You know, they don't have many options at all, and they can't see a pass.
1-0 Motherwell. Still no goals in the other games in the Premiership tonight. The other 4 matches taking place. But Ibrahim Said as Motherwell in front. First goal of the season. Said, after 5 years at Viborg in Denmark, he's come, he's making an impression, getting his chance with Maswanise away with Zimbabwe, and there's a ball through, and it could be another opportunity for Motherwell here. Fadinger, right hand side of the box, turns right on his left, back onto his right, and it's cost him. It comes off Trusty and behind for the corner. My goodness, he pulls the trigger. Motherwell could be looking at a 2-0 lead there. 18.5 in, it stays at 1. Corner.
Yeah, that's a midfielder just making a run forward, and nobody able to pick him up, nobody matching the run, but none of the centre halves. You got 3 defenders there, got to deal with it.
Watt with the ball in this time from the short corner, and it's cleared.
Yeah, it was just a bad touch. You couldn't get the ball cleanly under control. It was sort of bobbling about, and as soon as he turned back, the opportunity was gone.
Yeah, sorry, one other point. Elliot Watt, I loved when he got the ball, he just kept looking around him over his shoulder, see, and almost had the time to go and pick the pass. Beautiful play from him.
Said picks up over on that far side and pokes it in field. The ball forward there from Just is cut out, but they've managed to win it back on that far side. They're all action. Are the Steelmen. Here goes Said again with the tricks on the left-hand side of the box. Faced by Scales, who's been dragged right out of his left centre-back position. Played back into the midfield here, and it's Priestman. It's a bit of space. Back to Said. Not a great touch, allows Ralston in to win it back here. Hatate gives it away this time. It is all about Motherwell. It is all Motherwell. Almost 20 minutes in, they lead Celtic 1-0.
they're so comfortable on the ball, Motherwell. You know, everybody, they've got options every time there's a head, looking up, looking for the pass. There's an option there, there's two options there. They're so comfortable knocking it about. The goalkeeper's outside the 18-yard box, he's the extra man at the back, you know, and then you can see as they're setting up, there's 3 or 4 bodies looking to get in behind the Celtic back four.
Here's Just, rolls it out to Sparrow on this near side. He's level with the edge of the centre circle, played infield to Priestman, back to Slattery, and then into his own half for O'Donnell. Back out to Slattery on this near side touchline, pokes it infield for Priestman. We'll go back to O'Donnell. The Motherwell supporters, you can see how much they're enjoying coming to watch their team, and now Celtic have to try and be the first team to score, a visiting team to score at Fir Park in over 2 months, just to get something out of this. That's headed infield to Slattery. Out it comes to Sparrow on this near side. A bit too much on the ball, and it was out for a throw into Celtic, level with the edge of the D of their own box on this main stand side.
Yeah, the 4 in midfield is dominating Celtic's 4. There is no question about it. Obviously, you've got Elliott Watt just dropping deep. Nobody's going with him. He's able to orchestrate the play from almost level with the centre halves. And then when somebody steps out, the space is created and they're able to exploit it very, very quickly. And lovely little one-touch, two-touch passing. Normally you see that from Celtic, but this Motherwell team looks as if they've taken a leaf out of their book and doing it extremely well.
And 8th goal of the season for Zach Sapsford, and Dundee United lead Livingston 1-0 at Ammanvale. Derek.
Yeah, and I was about to say, and I think what you can see as well as Pat was saying, Celtic are getting dragged about, and Just is playing on sort of right of the front 3 there. When he's dropping off, Liam Scales is following him in, and Liam Scales is getting in position he doesn't want to be in, and they're all becoming so unsure. You can see Celtic players looking over their shoulders. Who am I picking up? Where do I go? And the Motherwell players are taking up some lovely spaces, and they're getting into some little gaps, and they're turning it, and you know, and Celtic can't get close to them.
Celtic look absolutely bamboozled by this Motherwell performance. I can't remember a time when I was talking about Phil O'Donnell's 2 spells here. That team that Phil played in second time around under Mark McGee was outstanding to watch, but I don't think even that Motherwell side was capable of ragdolling Celtic the way that Motherwell are doing right now, almost a quarter of the way into this. Motherwell 1, Celtic 0. Well, Tati gets on the ball midway inside his own half.
Yeah, they're playing with a back 4. That gives them an extra player. Higher up the pitch in different positions. Celtic are playing with a back 3, and they don't have that. Celtic are only playing with 1 striker, and they're just playing around them. They're playing around them.
Back with Schmeichel, who clears right-footed. Tati tries to take it down in the midfield. 2 claret and amber shirts around about him. He's managed to poke it, but he can only get it there to Elliott Watt, who turns it all the way back to the goalkeeper Ward, who's just outside his area. He pushes it back into the midfield here for Watt, who goes back to his keeper again.
Yeah, Celtic can't get up to grips with the Motherwell formation as well, and not only that, the Motherwell players rotate so well. They move, they're looking to make runs in behind, always on the move, always in the front foot, and they can't get close to them.
Possession wise, it's 56 in Motherwell's favour. Celtic's 44. 23 and a half on the clock. Celtic have no answer to it as yet. Still plenty time, of course. Tati gets from Tierney, that's given away again, albeit the ref spotted a foul on Tierney on the touchline, so Celtic will get a free kick on this near side. So just to confirm, it is Livingston 0, Dundee United 1 at Ammanvale. Zach Sapsford with a goal there. It remains goalless at Dens and Easter Road and Ibrox. Motherwell leading Celtic 1-0 here on BBC Radio Scotland Extra 810 medium wave, on digital, online at bbc.co.uk/Sport Scotland. The Rangers St Mirren game is available over on the FM frequency 92 to 95 FM and on Sounds. A long ball for Celtic comes off the right boot of Yang and out for a Motherwell throw-in. Deep inside the well half, won back well by Yang. Here's Hatate, squares it to Tierney. He's up towards the edge of the area here. Kieran Tierney changes gears, low ball across, blocked well there. An important block, and it's cleared. It was Watt who was in the way, as he always seems to be. He's such an all-action player, and there are many other Motherwell players perhaps ahead of him who make the headlines, get the headlines, but Elliott Watt has been 7s, 8s and 9s all season. As Bernardo picks up for Celtic down the line to Tierney, who plays it off. Sparrow, and out for a Celtic throw in midway inside the Motherwell half on this near side.
I think the test for Motherwell is going to be is can they keep this up. There's so much intensity they're putting into the game. It's like, how long can they keep it up for? And not only that, if they can keep it up, can they get that second goal? But it's just now, there's such high energy. Half time can't come quick enough for them to get a break. But come the second half as well, they need to regroup and go again. But they've started so well.
Still 20 minutes left of the first half as Trusty rolls it to the left for Scales, down the line for Tierney. Under pressure from Sparrow, and he's lost out. Bernardo tries to win it back now. It's Hatate and to Tierney. Again, Motherwell win it back through Sparrow. The energy levels are frightening here from the home side as the goal scorer side picks up left of the centre circle and rolls it out to that left side for Katrumbas.
Yeah, not alone that. When it comes to 50-50, they're winning the 50-50s in the middle of the pitch. When the ball breaks among players, Motherwell looks as if they're the team that's hungry to come out with it.
It is up on that left side to Saeed. Down he goes. No foul, says the referee. It was Ralston's challenge. Yang picks up, rolls it in field, and it goes straight, yes, to Elliot Watt again. He's everywhere. It's like there's more than one of them.
Yeah, so, he takes up some great positions, going forward and defensively as well. It's such a big blow for the team.
It's up with Slattery now, holding off Scales. And back to O'Donnell. And back to his goalkeeper. It's a real trust from the supporters, despite the way Motherwell want to play when they have it in the defensive third. And there have been the odd error this season, including at Celtic Park. And there's another O'Donnell giving it away, and it's Tierney to Maida. Back to Tierney, gets the cross in, headed away by McGinn to the edge of his box, and just knocks it out to Katrumbas on the far side. But the Well fans have come here and they've seen clean sheet after clean sheet after clean sheet recently at Fir Park.
That's brilliant play.
Yeah, they played out magnificently at the back.
That's brilliant play. It's actually good to see, a Scottish team, playing in this manner.
Yeah, and O'Donnell plays it forward. It's going to break to Saeed. He's at the edge of the box. Good tenacity. Wins it off Trusty. Shots blocked by Ralston. Still alive. Breaks right-hand side of the box. Just trying to pull it back. Blocked by Scales. Second chance for Motherwell on the near side. Played back to Sparrow. And then Slattery on the turn. Finds Sparrow again on the near side touchline, level with the Celtic penalty spot. Back to Priestman. He'll square it to Paul McGinn. He'll go back to his goalkeeper, but my goodness, just the way they pop it out of their own box. When it works, it's a joy to watch. And there's another long ball towards Just. Heavy touch, knocked out for a throw-in to Motherwell by Kieran Tierney. Almost 28 minutes played. Motherwell 1, Celtic 0.
Yeah.
Celtic under the cosh again here, Derek. It's Just into the box, dancing around, shoots wide! Well, Schmeichel's given that up. He's not even dived for that one. But listen to the reaction from the Motherwell supporters to what they are seeing here tonight. It's not just a roar for tonight. It clearly is, partly, but this is what they're used to watching now.
Yeah, as I was just going to say, Just is just outside his own box. He cool as you like, played the ball out. Next thing you know, he's up at the edge of the box, involved in an unlucky not to get a shot on target there and add to Motherwell's score. So it just shows you the energy that he's getting about the pitch. They're all working for each other, up and down the pitch together. And Celtic are really, really struggling to get to grips with it.
A couple of goals to tell you about. Kilmarnock have got their noses in front against Dundee, 12 without a win now. Well, they're in front at Dens through Greg Kiltie, and Rangers have gone ahead through Taylor Asgard. He got the winner against Motherwell at the weekend. He's at it again. Rangers 1, St Mirren 0, Dundee 0, Kilmarnock 1, Livingston 0, Dundee United 1. Still goalless between Hibs and Aberdeen at Easter Road. And here, Motherwell putting on a show and 1-0 up against Celtic as Scales plays it out of defence for Dyson Maida, who's on the periphery of this one. And it's a short ball back towards Scales. Under pressure from Just. Scales clears up towards the halfway line. Nygren gives it away straight to O'Donnell, bounces off him and breaks all the way back to Ward as Jens Bertalascu applauds his players down there, and little wonder.
Yeah, so listen, Celtic, Motherwell are quite happy to go man for man at the back and push the extra player high up the pitch to put Celtic under pressure. That's when you need a striker that you can play up to when he holds the ball and brings people in, and that, because that they're not able to do it.
Saeed's freed himself at Ralston. He was clearly being fouled. There's an advantage though. It's out to Katrumbas, wide on the left. Motherwell hunting down a second. Katrumbas goes for goal, and Schmeichel holds on. at his near post, and it stays Motherwell 1, Celtic 0. Might have taken a little nick on its way through there, almost half an hour in.
Oh, man.
And Celtic giving it away again, and it's a tame effort from Elijah Just, who knocks it well wide of the left-hand post. Half an hour in, Motherwell 1, Celtic 0. Celtic don't even know what day of the week it is right now.
No, they're just getting out-bullied, outplayed, and they're just really struggling to put any passes together and work their way through the thirds of the pitch. And then when they can't go long because they've got nobody to really hold the ball up, so now they're devoid of ideas when they have the ball, and Motherwell's doing it really well. And the question is, can they keep it up? Can they keep that pressure up? Can they get that second goal? Or will Celtic come into this match? But they need to do something.
Well, having watched a bit of Motherwell recently, I think they can keep it up, because they have been keeping it up, and they've been scoring late goals as well, including that win against Dundee last time out here. I don't think there's any doubt they can keep it up. Can Celtic raise their performance? Can they work out how to play against this Motherwell team? They've given it away again. Over on the far side, it's Yang this time. Saeed driving forward. He's got the ball now. Yang stays on the ground looking for the referee to stop the game. Motherwell play on for now, and they've got it right hand side. Yang's got back to his feet.
It's not Yang, it's actually the right centre back. It's Tony Ralston that was, and he's run back now to get back
Ralston
into
it. Down,
yeah, so Yang then had to step into that position that he had vacated, and we know his defensive qualities.
They've got a very similar hairdo and they're wearing the same boots, I think, so that's my excuse anyway. And I guess not many of us know what day of the week it is at this time of year anyway, so that long ball comes all the way through to Kasper Schmeichel, who holds on. But you take my point, Derek, don't you? Celtic look dazed and confused out there.
Yeah, they do. And when they're getting on the ball at the back, you know, they're playing long, hopeful balls up front to Maeda, you know, and O'Donnell and McGinn they're taking control of the situation, winning headers, controlling the ball, you know, and it looks as if they've just run out of ideas just now. Celtic, they can't really figure out how to break down Motherwell.
But look, you know, Scales is on the ball. He needs movement from the striker. He can't just stand there. He's got to run the channel. He's got to do something. Listen, Derek, you are a striker. You know when a centre half gets the ball, he needs you to make a movement.
Yeah, whether it comes short or whether it go long, make a run, make somebody move, create a bit of space, do something, give them an option. But as things are just now, you know, they're looking up and nobody's moving at all. They don't have any options. And then when they play a ball into Midley Park, Motherwell's all over them.
32 and a half on the clock. Motherwell 1, Celtic 0. Schmeichel has it inside his own box and plays it short to Bernardo. And back to Schmeichel. And to Scales. Scales stands, looks for an option in green and white, gets one from McGregor, back to Scales, then to Trusty, and then out to Ralston on the far side. Up the line it goes. And it's dinked back by Nygren, given away. And bounces back off Ralston and out for a Motherwell throw-in. The Motherwell play it out from the back, they're doing it with a purpose. Celtic are trying to play it out from the back, but they don't seem to know where to go next.
Yeah, it feels a bit hopeful when they're playing balls in. You know, I think when Motherwell doing an element of confidence and know somebody's there, no, they're not going to hold on to the ball and they link up the play. I think with Celtic, they're just hoping somebody's going to get on the end of it, somebody's going to hold on to it. You know, I mean, if somebody does get a hold of it, you know, they're just completely surrounded by Motherwell players. Motherwell working, again, so hard, not only going forward, but getting back in and making it really difficult, congesting that midfield, making it hard for Celtic to play through.
Celtic have the ball in the Motherwell half here, midway inside it, and it's bowled back by Yang to Ralston. He'll sweep it to his left for Trusty, and then to Liam Scales, left of the centre circle, on the halfway line, infield to McGregor. Motherwell leading thanks to that Saeed goal. And he knocked it home from close range after a superb ball in by O'Donnell. Here's Hatate, given away again, straight to Sparrow, one back by Bernardo. Tierney out to Hatate on this near side. Back it comes to McGregor. And play it short to Nygren, to McGregor, and then into the centre circle for Trusty. To the right of it now, he plays it to Ralston. Then back to Trusty. Again, the Motherwell press.
Motherwell just keeping it nice and compact in that middle of the pitch, and Celtic are struggling there. Every time they get a ball, it's backed away. They've got to start opening up and playing balls forward. Even if they play a ball over the top like this one,
there's a ball over the top towards Tierney, nods it back, but there's The touch from Nygren goes all the way back to Ward, who just boots it away first time nonchalantly. Just over 10 minutes until half-time, and right now half-time can't come soon enough for Wilfried Nancy. He needs to change something.
Yeah, he's going to have to look at it, whether it's to make changes, change of formation, change of ideas, how they approach the game. Because, I was just looking there at Maeda. He was kind of half looking to come in for the ball, but it's so congested. If that's the case, spinning behind, try and do something, give the defender an option.
A foul on Bernardo by Priestman, says referee Clancy. As you can hear from the supporters around about us in the main stand here, not exactly agreeing with that decision. Hatate back into the centre circle for Trusty, and he rolls it to his left for McGregor, and out to the touchline for Tierney. Now with McGregor again, infield to Scales. Can Celtic find an equaliser here against the run of play? We see more of the ball now, Motherwell, but they're Celtic, but Motherwell sitting comfortably in their positions. And here's Hatate losing out, one back by Elijah Justin. Now Sparrow's away, and suddenly it's 4-on-3 in Motherwell's favour. Sparrow driving forward, he's short with the ball, but Slattery does get there. The cross fielded to the left hand side of the box, looking to try and get Fadinger involved. He's kept it in play. Back to Katrumbas, rolls it back to McGinn, to Katrumbas, down the left Fadinger, Just's in the middle, so Slattery. Saeed gets there too. Played back down the line instead to Katrumbas though. And now it's with Fadinger once more. Looking for some space, the referee's blown his whistle. And it will be a Celtic ball. Not sure was there a flag on this near side. Anyway, Celtic have it. Schmeichel short to Bernardo, back into his box for Trusty.
All he's got to do is just look around him, open up, and he's away. He's broken that press, and then they're higher up the pitch. Instead, what he knocks it back to the goalkeeper, back to the centre halves, and that's what Celtic have been doing all this half. There it goes again, backwards.
And it is with Ralston, who then squares it to Trusty. Trusty then out to Scales on this near side. Down the line for Hatate. He was under pressure and he couldn't find Tierney. Motherwell have it. The referee blows because there's another flag, this time over on the far side against Celtic. It will be a Motherwell free kick. Motherwell 1, Celtic 0 on 37.
Tactically so far in the game, Motherwell have just got it spot on the way they've set up. They've went man for man right in the middle of the park. They're really cancelling out anything Celtic's got to offer at all. But in the flip side of that, they've got so much to offer themselves going forward. So clever what they do. I think as well, Celtic playing the back three, Motherwell playing nice balls in behind in the corners and really making it difficult. They're dragging the centre halves out wide where they don't want to be, so they're really asking a lot of questions of Celtic.
Elsewhere, Dundee 0, Kilmarnock 1, Hibs 0, Aberdeen 0, Livingston 0, Dundee United 1, Rangers 1, St Mirren 0. The Steelmen with the lead here. Those matches, incidentally, the other ones taking place, are all at half-time now. This one an 8 o'clock kick-off, the other 7:45. It's Motherwell in the lead and on the ball with Paul McGinn. He rolls it back to Ward, who hasn't really had a save to make in the match.
No, and that's because Motherwell have dominated the game.
I think it was interesting as well when Motherwell was on the comfortable possession at the back. Celtic look a little bit apprehensive whether they actually want to push up or not, in case they're getting done so often, as we see again. Those runs in behind from midfield breaking forward, they're getting done so many times that Celtic look a bit hesitant to actually go and press Motherwell.
Well, it comes from the front players too. You've got Hatate, you've got Nygren, you've got Maeda. Those are the three players that need to go and press Elliott, press the centre half, and do it nice and sharp and do it collectively, and then you might have a chance to win the ball back. If you don't do it and you hesitate and you stand off, that's why defenders then become hesitant at the back, because they don't know whether to drop off, go inside, what to do. And the movement of Motherwell is superb.
Nygren finds Maeda just outside the centre circle. Tierney's down, he's stayed down for now. It's picked up by Yang. Tierney gets back to his feet. The Motherwell fans think he got back to his feet because Celtic are in a relatively attacking position here. It's played back to Callum McGregor. Forward for Yang on the turn, level with the edge of the D of the Motherwell box. It's pushed back out wide right, Yang giving chase. Ralston too, comes off a Motherwell boot. There's Katrumbas sliding in and out for a Celtic throw-in. level with the Motherwell penalty spot. Jens Bertolascu will be hoping that his team doesn't concede a sloppy goal at this point, because they've been the better side, but they've given away a free kick over on the Celtic right, an opportunity for the visitors to load the box.
Yeah, well, it's not working in the middle of pitch for Celtic, so what they've got to do is they've got to change it and have get two people on either side so we can get overlaps, underlaps, all the things that they were brilliant at certainly when Johnson was in the team and so on. Even when Ralston was playing right back, he was getting into better positions. Celtic free kick.
It is about level with the edge of the D of that Motherwell box. Right through for Bernardo, it's dreadful. It's headed away by the first man, Priestman. Bernardo tries to win it back, goes in with his head. He's wiped out his opponent as well. And the Motherwell fans wanted a stoppage, but maybe not now, because Said's on the march again. Knocks it forward into the path of Elijah Just wide on the left. Said's up on his own at the moment in the box. Still it's Just, goes for goal, deflected, comes across to the back post, and Tierney bundles it away to safety. And out for a Motherwell throw in level with the Celtic 18-yard line on this main stand side. Motherwell 1, Celtic 0 on 40, nearly 41.
That was such a disappointing free kick by Celtic there. You know, they've not been in the game at all. They get a free kick in the final third. It's take your time, at least have a good delivery into the box, you know, and doesn't get past the first man, you know, and that's maybe sums up Celtic's half so far.
So the Priestman, who rolls it low out to Sparrow on this near side, and back he goes to Priestman and then to O'Donnell. Switches it right to left of the centre circle for McGinn. He decides to go back to Ward. Maida chasing around after him. Played short by Ward. There to Watt, and Celtic trying to win it back themselves here, but it's with Watt. He plays it right across his 6-yard line. It dies in Maida, waiting there, but he's found O'Donnell, who's now sprinting forward up towards the halfway line. Long from O'Donnell when Schmeichel holds on. He was trying to do what Kenny McLean did to Kasper Schmeichel at Hampden last month there. I see he was trying to. He's unintentionally
trying
to.
No, he wasn't.
Don't think I was intentional, yeah. You know, it's
very
just
unintentional.
Yeah, I mean, the Motherwell goalkeeper there, you know, they're taking balls in, you know, what would be normally a challenging position for any team, but they're so comfortable, you know, and the Motherwell's goalkeeper's playing out and bang, what happens then? Motherwell's on the attack.
Liam Scales for Celtic here as we get closer to the half-time interval. It's with Ralston on the right-hand side, forward to Yang, first time for Nygren. Kind of left the leg over that, and Maida went for it, couldn't get there. Motherwell clear into the midfield, bouncing ball, headed forward to Slattery, finds Said, and it's popped out to Just. Elijah Just now up towards the edge of the box. Celtic getting players back. It's Just, rolls it low into the area, and it's right through to Schmeichel as he tried to spring a teammate there. I think it was Fadinger who gave chase, but it's right through to Schmeichel, and it stays Motherwell 1, Celtic 0.
Yeah, that was an example again how Motherwell has outfought Celtic in the middle of the pitch. Bernardo not aggressive enough to try and win the ball. Even the ball up to Nygren was, you know, he couldn't control it, give the ball away, and then the ball breaks in second phase. Motherwell won the second phase, and they're on the attack.
Yeah, as I say, when that ball goes up front, you need it to stick. You know, I think to give your teammates a hand to get them up the pitch. You know, when the ball's coming straight up at themselves, they just cannot get up the park.
Throwing Celtic, they're up the pitch here to try and find an equaliser. Level with the Motherwell 18-yard line. It's not been terribly often they've been in that position, as it's bowled back to Ralston, and then infield to Trusty in the centre circle. Plays it to his left for Liam Scales. Tierney's on the touchline. If he wants some, Scales stinks it into the box instead, but it's calmly controlled there by the midriff of O'Donnell, and then dinks it clear. Trusty gets onto it under pressure from Said. He knocks it back to Schmeichel. Motherwell 1, Celtic 0. We are just about to tick into the 45th minute. Long ball for Celtic, comes off the head of Sparrow with Tierney there. Sparrow hoops it away, but there's an offside flag against Kieran Tierney, and it will remain Motherwell 1, Celtic 0. It's going to take a bit of a sea change from Wilfred Nancy, I would have thought, if he's to avoid a 5th defeat in this opening 7 matches as Celtic manager.
Yeah, he's got to do something in his half-time. whether he gets the players a bit more aggressive or whether he changed the shape a little bit to get, because they've been outplayed in this half, and it's not often we can say that, you know, another team in Scotland has totally outplayed them at their own game. That's the key. It's not an aggressive one where they're kicking balls and they're battling. They're playing through them and playing really, really well, and that is very seldom that has happened.
You see Rangers do it now and again, but you know, the budgetary difference between those two is smaller than the budgetary difference between these two. I mean, this is a team that's put together on a fraction of the Celtic budget, and they're playing them off the park here as we go into the only minute of stoppage time at the end of the first half, with Motherwell leading 1-0.
But it shows you what can happen, Liam. It shows you actually what can happen if you have a team that's willing to take players, willing to take on your information, work at it on the pitch. They don't have the same midweek games as Celtic or Rangers or so on, so they can work a little bit more, but you've got to get on the pitch and work with them and show them and make them believe.
It is with O'Donnell, who goes back to his goalkeeper. Final few seconds of the first half. It's a floaty ball by Ward out to the near side. Slattery gets on, comes off Bernardo, then off Sparrow, and out for a throw in. In fact, it's come off Bernardo. Last says the assistant referee, Callum Spence, on this near side. So Motherwell have the ball, and they will have a half-time advantage by the look of things here. And Sparrow with the throw-in, looking for some movement. Forward it comes towards Said, headed away by Scales. Comes off the head of Watt on the near side, out to Said, and there is the half-time whistle. And listen to that from the Motherwell supporters. My goodness, they are loving what they are seeing, and there's no surprise, because they've been a joy to watch tonight. Of the Steelmen, they lead 1-0 at the break thanks to Ibrahim Said's goal, which came after an excellent cross ball in by Stephen O'Donnell, scored in 14 minutes, and they've looked comfortable. Celtic have looked anything but this evening. A Yang header onto the roof of the net is about the extent of the threat that they've offered. Motherwell have been in another couple of occasions, and had Elijah Juster and Lucas Fadinger produced better decision making in the penalty area, they could be further ahead than they already are. At the interval at Fir Park, Wilfred Nancy is staring at a 5th defeat from his first 7 games as Celtic manager, unless he changes something, because at half-time it is Motherwell 1, Celtic 0.
Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland.
So we are live here at Fir Park on BBC Radio Scotland, 810 medium wave, on Extra, on digital and online at bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland. Going to stick with us here for the half-time interval on Sports Sound, because the second half of the other matches will be getting underway pretty soon as this midweek card plays out. Remember, Falkirk Hearts, the only two sides not to be in action this evening in the Premiership. The half-time scores in the other games, and we have been watching Motherwell lead Celtic 1-0 here, and we are at the break. It is Dundee 0, Kilmarnock 1. The only goal of that game scored by Greg Kiltie on 38 minutes, so it could be that Killie are on their way to a hugely needed victory at Dens Park. Just at the midway stage though, Zach Sapsford has Dundee United ahead at Livingston. Continue to prop up the table. And Sapsford with the goal there. Rangers 1-0 up on St Mirren thanks to Telo Asgard, and it is goalless at Easter Road between Hibs and Aberdeen. I believe it's a relatively even contest at Easter Road, with the second half of those games getting underway any second now. But here, myself, Paddy Bonner and Derek Lilly have been watching a superb Motherwell performance. They have a justified lead here, given to them by Said, Derek, and just a joy to watch at times in that first half. It doesn't matter where they are on the pitch, knocking it about their own box. It's fabulous to watch. And I know people have been waxing lyrical about Motherwell, and you know, people looking at the league table and saying, but Hibs and Aberdeen, you know, they're within relative striking distance of them. But the way Motherwell are playing just now, I don't think I've seen a team playing a more attractive brand of football this season.
It's excellent. To me, it looks as if, you know, whatever they're doing in training, they're taking it onto the pitch. You know, I know it sounds a bit silly, but actually, it looks as if when they're actually playing the game, it's as if they're training. They're so comfortable on the ball. They're so relaxed. They're doing this obviously day in, day out. They all know their roles. They all know where to be. They all know what spaces to take up if somebody's on the ball, whatever it may be in the pitch. They've always got an option. And not only that, they're working so hard. The minute Celtic get the ball, they're closing them down. They're not giving Celtic any opportunities at all. Celtic don't look as if they've any options. And yeah, it's an absolute joy. What a time to be a Motherwell fan, to come and watch this football every night. Okay, they might not win every week, they might not score all the time, but to watch this style of football, you know, in Scotland, and it's not the old firm we're talking about, and even although Hearts are top of the league, you know, this brand of football that Motherwell's playing is just so exciting to watch. And every time they break forward, you think they're going to score a goal, and it's brilliant. And Celtic have just fallen so short. And I'm just thinking about it as well, you know, Callum McGregor, he's hardly the kicker of the ball. You know, Callum McGregor's so used to dominating games, the pace of the game. I've hardly seen him and Bernardo in the middle of the park. And again, it's testament to how hard Motherwell are closing down the midfield.
Yeah, listen, Liam, Derek touched on it there. You can train all day, you can do things in training, but it looks like they're training the way that they play. Opposition, players out there not just passing the ball without any opposition, where you see all these drills that people do, and that's when the game starts. If you're under pressure and you've got to be able to play around people, through people and all that, then you've got to practice that in training, and that's what it looks like to me. Reality-based, almost training. Take what you're going to do on the pitch on a Saturday or a Sunday or a midweek into your training and work on it. And he's got the players. Elliot Watt is critical. The goalkeeper is critical. You've got those players that are absolutely critical in the way that they start the game. And then the movement of them is fantastic. Celtic just are really struggling to get a grip of the ball, get a hold of the ball. And when they get a hold of the ball, I don't see if they've got the options that they used to have. And you know, we talk about that box in the middle of the pitch that Motherwell have matched up Celtic. Callum McGregor used to play there on his own. That allowed him to have the space to move around, a bit like Elliot Watt is doing when they have the ball. There's nobody crowding the space, but it looks like Celtic's just almost crowding the space that he normally operates in, and that drags in the opposition also, and they have no other answers. And then they can't play the ball forward. They can't play it forward because they've got nobody to hold the ball up. They're not even taking that option at times. They're just gone back, and it goes back to the goalkeeper, it goes to the centre halves, and they're devoid of ideas, which is not the Celtic that we've been used to for the last 10 years. And that is that players confused? Is that players not taking enough responsibility? Or what is it at the moment? Because that's the first time I've seen a Scottish team really dominate Celtic. Not from a physical part is also part of it, but from a point of view of how they played the game. They've done what Celtic normally do to other teams, and it's been incredible to watch.
The only person more comfortable this evening than Motherwell is Packy. He's got the big rug on. I think he's got a heater down there somewhere. Those look like the warmest gloves I've ever seen.
The heater's packed.
Oh, has it? Oh, right, okay, fair enough. I don't know if you watch the darts, guys. Trying to keep across the events at the World Championship this evening. Gary Anderson's gone 2-0 on Michael van Gerwen. So hopefully some Scottish success at the Alexander Palace tonight. But as far as the football's concerned, I ran you through the scorelines elsewhere in the Premiership, the second half. So those games are getting underway. In fact, they are all underway. I think apart from the match at Ibrox, must have been some substantial stoppage time at the end there. There will be coverage continuing on BBC Radio Scotland of Rangers 1, St Mirren 0 on BBC Radio Scotland FM on Sounds. And of course the website bbc.co.uk/Sport Scotland. You get the scorelines at any time there. The live text is as ever up and running. The Motherwell fans, I mean, you consider, and it was quite incredible, they were only 3 points better off than they were a year ago. And obviously they had the change with Stuart Kettlewell leaving, and Michael Wimmer coming in and everything that went with that, it ended up being a disappointing season for them. Fast forward 12 months, it's the style of football that's making the huge difference right now, and if there is a chance that they can try and turn some of these drawn matches into victories, and this will be in Ascu's mind right now, they've drawn way too many games, but this run without conceding at Fir Park goes on. Overall they'd gone all those games without conceding home and away before the Asgard goal at the weekend. Just everything's pointing in the right direction for them right now.
Oh, 100%. You know, it's so positive. You know, again, they've got some players to come back as well. They've got a few injuries. Masmanisi's away, African nation, so if he comes back as well, again, it's that 12 goals coming back into the team. You know, that's crucial for them as they start to go into the second half of the season, getting those goals back. Can they add, is it a January window as well, can they add somebody that's maybe going to add another 10 or 12 goals between now and the end of the season? And I think then the challenge for them is that how high can they finish up the table? You know, can they finish third? Can they, you know, hang on, finish even fourth at worst? You know, but actually, you know, the way they're playing just now, you know, the only thing they're lacking maybe is just that other goal. But in every other department, defence, they look so comfortable. The keeper's comfortable on the ball. The midfield's working so hard. They've got legs. They've got pace going forward. They've got ideas. They've got creativity. They've got everything for it. I think again, as you say, Liam, it's just, you know, turning some of those draws into wins will make a huge difference to where they finish in the league.
Yeah, I can see why they don't lose goals though, because they got so much of the ball. They keep the ball. It's like one of Brendan Rodgers' statements when he came in was defending with the ball. If you have the ball, the opposition can't get it. And I would love to know what the stats are today, but that they have got to keep going now in the second half. Celtic need to change this. Celtic need to get a grip of the game. They need to get a hold of the ball. They need to be braver. They need to be more physical in the middle of the pitch when it's second phase. But he also has to probably try to do something and change the flow of the game by maybe moving players around a little bit more. You can't just play 4 and then hope that the opposition will match you up and it's not worked in the first half. So what would he do different? I think he's got to change it maybe to a 3, play even, listen, we talk about changing to a back 4. I don't think he'll do that. That's the problem, you know. But it's obvious to me that he needs to get two players on either side wider and create opportunities where they can dominate the ball in those wide areas. Because the middle of the patch, they can't dominate it.
What kind of stats do you want? Because I've got heaps of them in front of me.
Well,
here.
I would love to know the possession stats first.
Right. Well, that's pretty much 50-50.
Yeah.
In fact, it's pretty much bang on 50-50. Just Motherwell slightly shading it. Shots 6 for Motherwell, 1 for Celtic. 2 on target for Motherwell, 0 for Celtic. Motherwell 8 touches in the Celtic box, Celtic 5 touches in the Motherwell box. The passing statistics are interesting as well. 277 total passes for Motherwell, 265 for Celtic. Pretty similar in pass accuracy, pretty similar in the number of passes together. But I mean, honestly, I can't remember the last time a team, out with the odd excellent Rangers performance against Celtic in derby matches, I can't remember a team that is outpassing Celtic. I just can't.
No, especially in the domestic league. Absolutely.
That's what I mean, yeah.
Absolutely, outside Rangers. You know, I would love to see where the possession stats are actually. You know, that'll tell you a tale also. Celtic possession is probably from the halfway line, maybe from just a circle back towards their own goal. Well, Motherwell's been almost the opposite side, working it through the thirds of the pitch and working up. And how many chances did they make because of that? That's the key. So possession is one thing, but possession with a real purpose is the second thing.
What should Wilfred Nancy be looking at right now, Derek, do you think, in the changing room? Because the teams will be back out shortly.
But just not ask Motherwell's defence any questions whatsoever. You think about Stephen O'Donnell and Paul McGinn in the centre halves. They've had nothing to do in terms of defensively, you know. Yeah, obviously in terms of when they get possession at the back, they're sort of pivotal to sort of playing out and things like that. But actually in terms of, you know, chasing, having to put last minute tackles in and really being given a test, it's not happened. Maeda's up there on his own, so there's no real challenge around height and maybe physicality. I think the only time Celtic got a little bit of joy was early on. It was out wide to Tierney, and later on Yang out wide on the right hand side, but they've not done it often enough and quick enough. And I think that's it. The challenge for Wilfred Nancy is how can we cause the Motherwell defence problems, because up until now they've not, and anything they've thrown at them, you know, they've dealt with it very easily.
Would you change it and put 2 up front and almost go to a flat 4 in the middle of the pitch, where you could end up with, you know, a 3-4-2, you know, that sort of kind of or 3-5-2, whatever. So you have 2 targets, put Motherwell under a bit more pressure there, 3 in the middle of the pitch and 2 for, you know what I mean? Do something different. Yeah, I think 2 up front's a great shout, because you think about it, I mean, Motherwell are so comfortable on the ball in the back and knocking it about. Why not put 2 up? Take out their 2 centre halves. I mean, Tierney's going to push up anyway, Yang's going to push up, so give them a real problem, because then they're going to be limited to how much ball they can have at the back and playing out, because a lot of the times when they are playing the ball across the 18-yard box, they then pick Celtic off with a nice pass into Midley Park and they turn in their away. So actually, why not nullify that and put somebody else up front? Yeah, well, and play Maeda out where he actually is comfortable. I've said it so many times.
Yeah, he's not a striker.
No, he's not a striker. You know, you know better than I. But you know, play him out on the left-hand side where he will be comfortable making runs, but also making runs on the inside and running after people and getting over the top and sell. Because if he's up there, he needs help. He needs help, and he's not a striker that you can knock balls up.
No, and as you said, you're not getting the best out of him up the front. You know, he's wandering about. He's trying to get into space. He's really not sure where he's meant to be coming short or going long. You can bring him out right, left, play to his strengths, and start asking questions of Motherwell defence. But Celtic really need to do something in terms of going forward and challenging that Motherwell back 4.
It looks like Rangers have gone 2-0 up at Ibrox against St Mirren. Emmanuel Fernandez with the goal. So Rangers 2, St Mirren 0 is the scoreline at Ibrox. They're about 8 or 9 minutes into the second half of that one. It's as you were elsewhere. The Motherwell players are back out. Celtic are going to make a change, and Luke McCowan is going to come on. At least one change. In fact, there will be 2. Arne Engels is coming on as well, so that tells you exactly what Wilfred Nancy made of that first half performance from his team, who were at times blown away. It's a triple change. Shinya Mada, Luke McCowan, Arne Engels are all coming on. Kieran Tierney's gone. McCowan replaces him. Also coming off, Bernardo replaced by Engels. And Shinya Mada has come on for Maeda, by the looks of things, Packy. So not sure if there's an issue there. I know he wasn't involved in the game, but player of the season last year.
Yeah, listen, I don't think he's happy playing through the middle, you know, with this current team, because they don't have enough of the ball, and you know, he wants to be running in behind, he wants to be slipped down the side and that, but when they're not getting into those positions to hit those passes to him, I think he's better out on the left-hand side, so he's not a happy camper at the moment. Now, he may be injured, I don't know.
Well, we shall see. Motherwell, as you were, of course, no surprises there either. Motherwell and Clark Namber shooting from right to left towards the Davy Cooper stand. Celtic towards their own supporters, who have been drowned out by the Motherwell fans around about us, but I can't imagine they were remotely impressed by anything they saw from the green and white side in that first half. It's Motherwell do a bit of defending here. It's not clear. Will those 3 changes have the desired effect? For Wilfred Nancy, it needs something to happen as Austin Trusty picks up and rolls it out wide left. And it's picked up by Engels. Engels then to the right of the centre circle for Ralston. Little dummy from Engels as it breaks to Shinya Mada. Back to McGregor. Dink ball with the left foot out to the far side. It's a little turn, it's decent from Yang, pulls it across, it's blocked, breaks the scales. Now it's with Yang again, looking for space to pass into the box. He can't find any, so it comes to the middle section. They're just outside the Motherwell box. Ralston out to McCowan, plays it back to Callum McGregor. No ball to his left for Trusty. Everyone bar Kasper Schmeichel all of a sudden in the Motherwell half. It's now with Nygren. Back out left it goes. Little ball played back to Callum McGregor there by Yang, and then ding down the line again to Yang Hyun-jun. Atati out there as well. The ball eventually comes into the Motherwell box, cleared by McGinn. Next to the edge of the well penalty area again, and it's knocked up towards Saeed. Now it's with Watt. He plays it short to his right. Dundee level against Kilmarnock, a goal scored by Ashley Hay. So Dundee 1, Kilmarnock 1, now at Dens. Motherwell have the ball at the edge of their own box here with Ward. He rolls it to his right. Played forward by O'Donnell, set up the only goal of the game so far. We're just a couple of minutes into the second half. Right to the right hand side, the ball up the line by Slattery is cut out, and it's going to bobble its way back here to Schmeichel, under pressure from Just, plays it short to his left, out to Scales, who goes back to Trusty, who clears it up towards halfway. Yamada controls, under pressure, he's chopped to the ground by Watt, and Celtic have a free kick. Motherwell over a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, they certainly started the second half a bit more intensity, Celtic, getting the ball forward. You know, still obviously they've made a few changes. It'll be interesting to see how that unfolds, but I still think they lack height up front and a presence up front, so I don't know how this is going to unfold in the second half, but they've come out the traps this time.
Thibaut Cliche has given Hibs the lead against Aberdeen at Easter Road as Motherwell pick up another loose ball. Elijah Trust driving forward into the box. Saeed waiting, he goes himself. Schmeichel spills it and Trusty clears it. And out for a Motherwell throw-in, level with the Celtic 6-yard line over on the far side. Again, Celtic giving it away. Elijah Just was alive to the situation. And Motherwell pick it up wide on the right. It's rolled back to Slattery. He controls with the undersole and plays it short, but he can't find Just. Celtic out of enough bodies back to get it away. Engels back to Schmeichel, whose chip ball's dreadful out of defence, and Engels on the slide can't get there. Now it's Just. Was he offside? He shoots. Schmeichel saves. Flags up anyway. And it stays Motherwell 1, Celtic 0.
Yeah, but it was such a sloppy ball from Schmeichel. You know, just if you're going to clear your lines properly. Knock it right up to the halfway line. He just chips it into about 30, maybe 40 yards from goal, and Motherwell just pick it up and put Celtic under pressure again.
Yeah, it's just decision making, is it, Packet? It's some poor decision making by Celtic just now.
Celtic have it with Nygren driving forward down the left hand side, pulls it to the edge of the box for Shin Yamada. That's brilliantly defended by Johnny Contrumbus though. And Motherwell able to dink it clear out to that right hand side. It's picked up by Slattery on the touchline, level with the edge of the centre circle, and then rolled back into his own half where it finds Stephen O'Donnell. Back to the edge of his own box for Ward. Into the midfield, McGregor trying to get onto it, but it's made its way to Fadinger, who goes back to his goalkeeper. And Ward plays it short to O'Donnell at the edge of his box. Drifts the ball here to the captain McGinn, and then out to Contrumbus on this near side. Side football forward to Saeed, well defended by Trusty on the halfway line. He's got it forward to Hatate. Now Nygren through, Shinyamada, big chance for Celtic! Weak shot, saved comfortably by Ward and cleared by Motherwell. That was the chance Celtic were waiting for, and Shinyamada with a tame effort which Ward saved comfortably, and it stays Motherwell 1, Celtic 0 in 50 minutes.
He's got to do better. He's got to do better. You get that chance, you're on the pitch. I know he's only started the second half, but it comes out, he can almost get caught under his foot, and he got no power in the shot to really trouble the goalkeeper Ward, and it was a big chance for me.
Yeah, he's got to score, hasn't he? He's got to score, he's got to be ready for it. You know, the first time Motherwell's really been caught out, you know, so Celtic's pressing them out of the park, they've caught them out. You know, you're not going to get a better chance really, are you?
Best chance of the game so far for Celtic, completely and utterly spurned. As Motherwell come forward, Saeed dragged to the ground by Trusty. Saeed reacts, the referee gets between the two players and brings out the yellow card for the Celtic centre-back. I don't think he can have any complaints.
No complaints whatsoever. He done brilliantly, Saeed. His trickery, his ability, he went through two players, he was gone. I don't think he was ever going to maybe trouble Celtic in that run, but Trusty shows you that they're really struggling defensively when you're in the middle of the pitch and you pull somebody back.
Yeah, there was three players around him there, you know, and Trusty, you know, it's just a bit sloppy, a bit lazy, pulling back, but yeah, he puts himself under a bit of pressure now. He's got a yellow card, especially the way they're playing Motherwell just now with Saeed up front.
Motherwell free kick then. It's in the Celtic half, left to the centre circle. It's Slattery, takes it to Watt, now out to this left hand side. Fadinger though can't keep it in play, and it's out for a Celtic throw in. on this near side. Motherwell 1, Celtic 0. Really intriguing battle now. Celtic have shown a little bit more life since the break. And a long ball pumped forward there to Rio Hatate with the right foot, rolls it out to the left for Yang. Yang gets it forward with his big cross-field ball, which evades Shin and Nygren, and out for a Motherwell throw-in on this near side, deep inside their own half.
That's another bad decision. You know, he had Scales bombing up down his left-hand side, and he just get it under control and slip him in, and he's down, and the space was there, but he ends up trying to diagonal ball, and the accuracy was completely out.
I think we're just starting to see the game's getting a bit more stretched now. Motherwell getting a bit more stretched.
Motherwell free kick down on this near side, and a foul on Fadinger, and it's 6 yards from the near side touchline in their own half, and it's McGinn rolling it back to Elliot Watt, who's popped up between the two centre backs again. So elsewhere in the Premiership, Dundee 1, Kilmarnock 1, Hibs 1, Aberdeen 0, Livingston 0, Dundee United 1, Rangers 2, St Mirren 0. Here at Fir Park, Motherwell continuing to lead thanks to Ibrahim Said. Celtic give it away again, and it's gone straight to Priestman. He'll shift it to McGinn, and rolls it to his left for Katrumbas. Wilfred Nancy stands at the edge of his technical area. He's quite animated, standing with his hands in his pockets right now. There's no free kick there on Fadinger on the halfway line as he went to ground. Celtic pick it up, and it's with Arne Engels, who's scampering forward left of the centre circle. Rolls it out to that left-hand side for Yang, and then back to Scales. Thinks it down that left-hand side. Celtic have a couple waiting in the middle. Can they get the cross in? No, they can't. It is seen behind expertly well by Stephen O'Donnell, and that's going to be a goal kick.
I thought it was a really good ball, and I thought he could have got it into the box. He can almost let it go and allow the defender to get in between him and the ball.
Yeah, I just seem to let it bounce an extra time. We don't need to. He could have got control of the ball there and just easily let O'Donnell just come in and walk the ball out of play. So
Celtic are a bit more aggressive in the second half, I've got to say. You know, he's obviously had words with them, and he said that it wasn't good enough. They've got a bit more aggressive, and they're on the front foot. They're probably dominating the game much better than they did in the first half.
No, and they should be level, Pat. It's as simple as that. They should be level. Shin Yamada's got to score.
Yeah, I think McGowan's come on as well, coming on, adding that little bit of steel, little bit of dig, you know, on that right hand side of Celtic. You know, when the balls are getting played in, he's getting right up tight against the Motherwell player.
Yamada hasn't scored for Celtic yet. He won't get a much better opportunity than that. Scales gives it away, and then there's a clear pullback by Hatate on Priestman, and Rio Hatate is next for a yellow card.
Is that just frustration, Packy?
I think it is. Absolutely frustration. You know, Scales should have passed the ball to him a wee bit quicker. He got caught on the ball. Maybe he's annoyed, but you don't do that. Put yourself in the referee's book, and now again he's under pressure in the middle of the pitch.
Motherwell have it with O'Donnell. It was Saturday the 19th of December 2015, the last time Motherwell beat Celtic. Ward under pressure from Shin Yamada, manages to get it out to this near side. It's again that risk and reward football that Motherwell love to play, and then there might be another yellow coming here. And it's Ralston who's booked, and the Motherwell fans think he should have been off there because they reckon he merited a yellow card in that first half. That's 3 Celtic players booked within the last few minutes.
Well, it shows you that aggression that we talked about that was missing in the first half. Although they're in the referee's book, we can see that Nancy, he must have had a go at him at half time and told him to get in the faces a bit more.
Yeah, there's no doubt they're getting up and getting close, getting a bit more personal with them, you know, and it's causing problems now because Motherwell need to be even better on the ball. But they've managed to win a few free kicks. But yeah, you know, Celtic only need 1 or 2 opportunities, and you know they might get another chance.
Chip ball into the midfield for Slattery, gets it away from Engels. A lovely little turn away from Hatate. Moves it to his left. It's Watt forward into the Celtic half now. It's Ibrahim Said. Gets it out to Slattery on this near side. Little drop of the shoulder, turns away from McCowan, back towards his own half though. It's passed back into it for McGinn. And goes back to Ward. Long ball forward, an opportunity perhaps here. Katumbas driving forward, in behind the defence momentarily. He's had to come out wide on the left-hand touchline here though. Under pressure now from McCowan. Fights Fadiger, now it's with Slattery. Plays it in field to Watt. He's overhit the ball and it was behind for a Celtic goal kick. And it remains Motherwell 1, Celtic 0. Jens Bertalascu at the edge of his technical area down there, literally pointing the way for his players. He will be perhaps a little bit more anxious than he was in the first. The first half was as comfortable as Motherwell would have hoped and dreamt to have been. And given away by Schmeichel. Chance here, just breaks back the way. 2-0. Elliot Watt scores. Schmeichel sold the jerseys and Motherwell have scored their second goal. And it's an absolute gift from Kasper Schmeichel. And Watt, who's having a fabulous season, has just put Motherwell into a fantastic position to end this decade-long wait for a win over Glasgow's green and white. It is now at Fir Park. Motherwell 2, Celtic 0.
It's no more than they deserved, 2-0. They've been right up for it the whole night, Motherwell. They've been asking so many questions of Celtic, and again, putting pressure on Celtic. And Kasper Schmeichel's been slack, as ball played into him, and Motherwell have been there to pick up as they've been all night. This time they've had that end product, they've managed to get that second goal, and it's really putting pressure on Celtic now. But again, it's so sloppy by Celtic.
Listen, when you're a goalkeeper, you've got the high press, everybody's pressing you. Where's the space? Where is the space? High up the pitch. Play it into that area, you're under pressure, and shocking for me. And that 2-0 down against a team. He's taken off Tony Ralston now. I think he's putting in, who's it? It's young Donovan that's come on, is it?
I think we were saying earlier on about Schmeichel's one who just chipped into the middle of the park. It's just sloppy, it's lazy. If you're going to clear it. Get it right, get the danger, clear the danger, get up the park. And again, just inviting them in, and Motherwell's just closed them down and capitalised on opportunity.
Yeah. Like Motherwell, they're the real deal. This Motherwell side is the real deal. If you're a Motherwell supporter, you've got every right to be excited about what might be coming in the next weeks and months. And they've got it back here on this near side, and they will smell blood now. The blood of the champions. They are 2-0 down, and the body language from the Celtic players tells a story in itself.
Yeah, well, it's such a vital goal for Motherwell, because Celtic didn't come out in the second half and started to dominate things a little bit more, control of the ball, but that goal now just gives Motherwell so much opportunity. It's a great ball over the top.
In the right-hand side for Motherwell as they try and attack again. That's going for a corner. If they can't keep it in play, it's been pulled back to trusty who clears. Yang kept it in play. Could have easily fallen at Tom Sparrow. He would have had an open goal in front of him. Celtic in all kinds of bother in Lanarkshire. Long ball forward. Nygren picks up the scraps and plays it to his left for Chinyamada. Out to the left-hand side for Hatate. The edge of the box, it's with McGregor. Lays it back to Hatate. Now it's Colby Donovan who's just on. Goes to ground. Free kick given. Well, Donovan got himself between the player and the ball. Barged to the ground, and Celtic have a free kick opportunity just to the right of centre at the edge of the D of the Motherwell box. We played just over the hour. Motherwell 2, Celtic 0. Charlie Riley puts Dundee 2-1 up on Kilmarnock, having been behind.
Yeah, Celtic just desperately need a goal now. To get themselves back into this game, put pressure on Motherwell. It's an opportunity for them as a free kick, and that it'll be. I think Engels will be over this ball, probably trying to eye it up to see can he hit the target. But you've got to get up and over the wall. It's about 26 yards out, 25 yards out, maybe.
If that, Packy.
Yeah.
If that, it might be. Maybe 22. They've got 2 over it here. 4-man Motherwell wall, and an opportunity here, and Celtic need something special to happen if they're going to get anything out of this game. 2-0 behind. Nygren and Engels are over it.
I don't get the two standing in front of the wall. I know you're trying to block the goalkeeper, but there are almost 3 of them standing.
And Celtic supporters wait. Nygren goes straight into the wall, and after the big build-up, it's a big anti-climax for the visiting supporters. Behind Callum Ward's goal off to our right. Here's Colby Donovan, who thinks it behind the goal kick. And, just inside the Motherwell half, and it stays Motherwell 2, Celtic 0. There looks no way back right now for the champions as things stand.
No, say a goal, they need a goal, and I don't know how they're going to get it because they haven't created any real chances.
And even the set pieces have had you know, they've had one chance where they should have scored, a couple of set pieces which have been really poor from their perspective, but other than that they've showed nothing. And from a Motherwell perspective, you know, the game's going to get more and more stretched, and will Motherwell get another opportunity going forward?
It's in the midfield here. Motherwell have it, a little bit scrappy in the last couple of minutes. It won't suit either team really, and that's another foul. This time it's by Liam Scales. I haven't heard Fir Park this electric for a long time. They're appealing for every decision. They're celebrating the success that they're having in this football match. Everything. I mean,
there's not many empty seats either. You know, I mean, I think you just testimony the Motherwell support. It's fantastic. You know, the Celtic's got a full end. From a Motherwell perspective, there's not many empty seats, so it's a great occasion, great night for football. You know, your team's 2-0 up and they're playing on the front foot, and Motherwell fans are absolutely lapping it up.
Motherwell have it. It's back with Ward. Long ball forward, which Yang is under. He gets it forward. It's with Nygren. One back by Watt, and then it bounces out of Slattery. And out for a Celtic throw-in over on the far side. That second Motherwell goal, as good as Motherwell have been tonight, it was so avoidable for Celtic.
Yeah, it killed you. You know, when things are going against you, that's the last thing in the world that you want to do, is make a silly mistake. And gift the opposition a goal.
Especially after starting the well so positively from Celtic's perspective. You know, they had a chance, they should have done better with it. You know, playing on the front foot. I know there was a few bookings, but they'd be more aggressive, and then make a mistake and you're 2-0 down. You know, that's going to take a lot of big effort from Celtic to get themselves back into the game.
Motherwell have it deep inside their own half here, nipping it around as comfortably as they have been all season. He's played out to the right hand side. Callum Slattery picks up, flicks it with the outside of the boot out to the far side onto the touchline for Sparrow, knocks it back to O'Donnell. And a walking pace.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem to be an urgency from Celtic to try and get back into this. James Forrest's going to be on. Just a moment. I mentioned the body language earlier. They look a beat inside, and Scales smashes into the challenge. He was booked not too long ago. And there's no second yellow coming here. Of course, VAR can't intervene on second yellows.
I think he's lucky there. I think he's lucky. He was never going to get the ball there.
Yeah,
and they've got away with one.
He got away with it, and listen, you know, that could have really put the nail in the coffin if he had to get a double booking and being sent off. And Celtic desperate to get something going here, and devoid of ideas really at the end of the day.
Yang's come off and replaced by Forrest. So Dundee 2, Kilmarnock 1, Hibernian 1, Aberdeen 0, Livingston 0, Dundee United 1, Rangers 2, St Mirren 0. Motherwell 2, Celtic 0 here. And we're 15 minutes behind the other 4 games. We played 66 here. And it's in the midfield, and Nygren manages to get it to McGregor. Now it's Nygren inside their own half. McGregor's ball forward. Sinyamada loses out, and it's now with Paul McGinn. Comes back to his goalkeeper. I mentioned the Dart scoreline at half-time. Well, Scotland's Gary Anderson's through to the quarter-finals of the World Championship. If you're into your darts, he's beaten Michael van Gerwen 4-1 in sets in the last 16. Here come Motherwell, driving down the right-hand side. Elijah just managed to get goal side of McCowan. He shoots, and Schmeichel holds on. Motherwell look for a sensational third and what's been a sizzling performance. Motherwell 2, Celtic 0.
Yeah, but it's incredible to think that McCowan is ending up as a midfielder, having to go back into that almost left back position It just doesn't make any sense to me when they're defending.
Yeah, and I think, just you can go back to Liam Scales with that challenger. You think that Celtic will make all their substitutions. I believe they made all 5 subs. They don't have any subs left. So actually, you think if he gets another tackle, he's off. So they're really, they're treading a really thin line, Celtic just now, in terms of how they're going about the game. And it's again Motherwell on the attack again.
St Mirren, by all accounts, have failed with a penalty at Ibrox. Remains 2-0 Rangers as Motherwell come forward against Celtic, give it away. Motherwell picking it up on this near side. Here is Saeed as he tries to roll it out to the far side. A misunderstanding with Sparrow as he bends down and slaps the turf in frustration.
Yeah, how many times have we seen Nygren in the Motherwell box today?
Yeah.
No,
None.
never. None. And that tells you the tale of the match.
Will be Donovan for Celtic, down the line for Forrest, infield to Nygren and back to Donovan. Donovan then finds Trusty. He pushes it into the midfield here for Engels on the turn in the centre circle, gets it forward to Shinyamada. Forrest on the right hand side, a first time ball from Forrest. Nygren chases, it's too close to Ward. It's the right idea from James Forrest as they look to try and find something in this match, and as bad as they've been tonight, Celtic, if they do score now, it's game on again, but it stays Motherwell 2, Celtic 0 on 68.5.
Yeah, it was. I think there's no doubt James Forrest seen Nygren was making that run. He's trying to play it in early, just overhit it. But again, the Motherwell keeper's in a good position. He's anticipated, got out well and picked up the ball to nullify it.
Well, it scales again, I think, over on the far side. The foul.
That time I didn't think it was a foul, actually. It was one of them where he's
a bit clumsy.
It's a bit 50-50, but it's not a bookable one, that's for sure. It's a free kick, but maybe because of all the bookings, they're treading a thin line, the Celtic players.
Well, we've been talking a lot about statement victories, with Hearts making statement victories against Celtic and Rangers, and Hibs making one against Hearts at the weekend. This would be an almighty statement from Motherwell. What's the ceiling for them this season, Derek, do you think? Is there one?
Yeah, exactly. I think if you speak to the manager, there is no ceiling. Obviously, from a points perspective, they're a long way off the top. In terms of their ambition this season, it's just to get up as high as the league as they possibly can. And if they keep playing like this, then, they're challenging Celtic. They probably could have beat Rangers. And I think when it comes to these big games, if they turn more of those against, if it draws into victories, it's probably obviously finishing, second or third if they possibly can. But yeah, what a story.
Incredible. It's McGregor for Celtic, midway inside Motherwell territory, plays it to his right for Nygren. He'll then move it out to Donovan on this near side and to Forrest on the touchline. Jinks in field, there's no room, and he's giving it away. He's giving it straight to Elijah Just, who drives across the halfway line. Celtic stretched again at the back here. Just cuts away from Trusty, looks up at the goal, decides to shift it to his right. The shot, the save from Schmeichel, and Fadinger on the rebound, and it drops back to Kasper Schmeichel. It's Callum Slattery. He's got the jersey over his head because he knows he had the best chance of all for Motherwell to kill the game. It stays Motherwell 2, Celtic 0, and it's James Forrest for the error. Even the most decorated player in Celtic's history is making those kind of unforced errors now.
I don't think I've ever seen Celtic so rattled in a Scottish domestic game. It might have happened in Europe, but not in Scotland. So, yeah, testament to Motherwell how well they're playing.
Out to the left side of the Motherwell box for McCowan. His low ball in's weak, and it'll be easily cleared by O'Donnell. Forward it comes to Just, driving against Trusty, then bringing Trusty to the ground. That'll be a free kick. The Motherwell fans will complain, and it looked a free kick to me. And it's taken quickly and shifted into the centre circle for McGregor. To the left for Arne Engels, 71 on the clock. Motherwell 2, Celtic 0. The full-time whistles will be going elsewhere as Celtic pick up over on the left-hand side. It is Hatate. There's probably about 5 minutes left, give or take. In some of the other matches, as Celtic come forward, it's Shinyamada rolling it to wide right there for Forrest. The right angle of the box, looking for space to cross. There isn't any. Has to play it back to Donovan. His ball in is cut out, and now Saeed's away again on the counter-attack. Here come Motherwell. Ibrahim Saeed up to the halfway line. 3 Celtic players around them. Donovan with the challenge. The ref didn't like it, and was he given a throw-in the end? Saeed's ended up off the pitch. I think they want Donovan booked. It will be a Motherwell free kick, but it's not a yellow card. And Motherwell fans are complaining. Some are turning round to us. I don't know what we can do about it, but there you go. 72 on the clock. Motherwell 2, Celtic 0.
Yeah, you do feel you could see a sending off coming here. One of the Celtic players. There's obviously been a few bookings, but they can see the frustration really sort of seeping into the Celtic game now. They're getting so frustrated, giving away silly fouls.
Well, right now they don't look like a team that can score once, let alone twice. And even then, a draw for Celtic, which is something they would absolutely take right now, is not good enough for them.
No, you look back to that chance earlier on with Shannon at the beginning of the second half, and they never took it, and Motherwell's just gone on from strength to strength. I think that seems to me could have been a pivotal moment in the game from a Celtic perspective, but they didn't take it, and they look as if they're running out of ideas.
Yeah, what Motherwell have done really well too is on the defensive side, they've been really compact, kept it nice, and every one of them has worked really hard for each other. And Celtic are just moving the ball from side to side, no penetration really. I did expect, Celtic to be dominating the game a bit more, and I did expect them, if Motherwell came and played an open game, that they would be able to play through them. That's not happened in the game. That's credit to Motherwell.
No, and I think McGinn and O'Donnell in the centre of the Motherwell defence, they're just shepherding them about. You can see them talking to each other, organising all the time, so comfortable. Two older heads, they're not panicking, they're really keeping things going, keeping everybody on their toes, keeping a good shape.
Callum Hendry's going to be on for Motherwell shortly, and there is another card coming out. Then Liam Scales has just produced the next one as Callum Hendry prepares to come on. He's going to replace Elijah Just.
Yeah, that's the 3 centre halves being booked for Celtic now. Scales, Trusty and Ralston, as far as I make it, Liam.
Yeah, that's them all booked now. And Hatate was booked as well.
Motherwell will make the substitutions of fresh legs on up front. Could be pivotal for that, because there's going to be opportunities to break away again, so just up fresh legs.
Yeah, he's had a really good game, that young man. He's just walking off the pitch. He's not the biggest, doesn't look the strongest, but he's got movement and he's got pace, and he plays within this system really well.
He makes some really clever runs going forward. He works so hard defensively, but going forward, he's always there supporting, getting beyond, and really stretches defences and asks questions of them.
Elijah Just replaced by Callum Hendry. Mika Mandron has pulled one back for St Mirren. Late on at Ibrox, Rangers 2, St Mirren 1. In that one, there's still a few minutes to be played there. Aberdeen had the ball in the net against Hibs through Kevin Nisbet. It's been ruled out after a VAR check for offside, so it stays Hibs 1, Aberdeen 0. And now it is with Paul McGinn, who turns it back to his goalkeeper Ward. 2-0 Dundee United now against toiling Livingston, as Motherwell come forward against toiling Celtic, with Hendry chasing but Trusty getting there first. Still quarter an hour left of this game. We just do not see the balance tipping at all here. Motherwell look as comfortable as they've been all season. McGinn gets there ahead of Forrest and rolls it back to his goalkeeper.
They just always seem to have a player in the right place at the right time. When Celtic do make a few passes, Motherwell just seem to crowd them out. They don't have any opportunities. They don't have a good pass to make, an opportunity. They close them out, win the ball back, really making it so difficult for Celtic.
Here come Motherwell down the right-hand side with Slattery. Right-hand side of the Celtic box, gets across the face of goal. There's no one in Claret and Amber there to stick it in, and it's going to bounce out of play. What about the corner flag? For a throw into Celtic, as deep in their own half as they can be. And they are in deep trouble in this game. And whilst this is obviously a fabulous evening for Motherwell, it's also a fantastic evening for Hearts too. Having lost the derby and looked to have lost the advantage they had at the top, and it's going to be effectively wiped out now, unless there is an incredible turnaround in proceedings. We just cannot see it coming, and I'm pretty sure Packie Bonner would agree with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't underestimate though how important Elliott and the goalkeeper Ward is to the way that they want to play. Ward looks totally comfortable with the ball at his feet, and they play back to him. And then Watt is always looking for angles to get on it, and Celtic haven't been able to master it, either of them. When they went to close him down, they played around him, and there he is now, Ward just taking his time and plays the ball out beautifully.
He always seems to find a pass, doesn't he? He never looks under pressure, finds a pass, the right pass.
There's Callum Slattery coming forward, and he tried to pick the right pass to Hendry, but it's cut out by Scales. There's McCowan forward to Hatate. He steps in field, and midway inside his own half, he finds Trusty, plays it to Scales to his left. Well, Nancy won his last 2 games. The first was against Aberdeen, who have an incredible inferiority complex when it comes to games against Celtic generally, but in particular in the league at Celtic Park. So that was no surprise, that one. Livingston caused Celtic problems at the weekend in the subsequent fixture, and this is back to where they were. This is arguably the worst performance under Nancy so far.
Yeah, it's been poor, but you can't take anything away from Motherwell, because they've been brilliant in the game. But I'm looking at where's the runners coming from midfield going beyond Yamada in this occasion.
There's a chance for Celtic though down at the byline, left hand side of the box. It's a good slide challenge there, and it was out for a throw in to Celtic over on the far side. Sparrow has done a good job out there tonight.
Yeah, he has done. I think he was playing sort of in front, right of a front three for Motherwell against Rangers, and now he's filling in at right back. He's done a great job. And I'm just touching back on something earlier that John Rankin says in the studio, saying about obviously if Motherwell win tonight, they get within 5 points of Celtic. And probably at the time you're thinking, is that actually going to happen? Well, it's looking like it. It's going to make the league real interesting. But it's nothing more than Motherwell deserve. It's can they see the game out?
It is Celtic on the ball here with Nygren. Good footwork from him. He lays it back to Engels midway inside the Motherwell half with the right foot out to the left hand side for McCowan, and then Engels shimmies away from a couple of challenges. It's played to Trusty. It just looks so laboured and ponderous from Celtic when they get into the final third. Here's Nygren, that's better though, to Engels at the byline, fires it across, it's cut out and then headed away by the ever impressive Watt.
Watt's been everywhere tonight, hasn't he?
Outstanding performance. Forrest to Tati at the edge of the box, slips it into Shinyamada. He's got his back to goal chance. Oh, what a save from Callum Ward to deny Nygren, whose effort was headed for the top left corner of the net. Outstanding save, one of the saves of the season from Ward, and it stays Motherwell 2, Celtic 0. Even Paki Poner would have enjoyed that one. We'll get to him in a moment because Celtic take the quick corner. It's with Hatate at the left angle of the box for Forrest. Forrest into Engels, pulls it back, and behind it will go for a throw-in over by the corner flag on the far side. My goodness, Callum Ward, an outstanding save, Paki, the man who made the mistake at the end of the game at Celtic Park.
Yeah, it was a brilliant save. Nygren, it's the first time I've really seen him in the box. He's got his chance. It was a nice clip, bending round the goalkeeper's right hand side, top corner, and he gets a beautiful hand on it to knock it away, and that
2-0 to Hibernian now at Easter Road. Aberdeen thought that they'd equalised. Their former player, Junior Hoylett, has just rubbed salt in the wound. Hibs 2, Aberdeen 0 at Easter Road. Here comes Celtic. They're 2-0 down to Motherwell themselves here as they get the cross into the box. McCowan battling for it, but losing out to Saeed. Saeed then loses out to Hatate, and it's Scales who finds McGregor. We're in the final 10 of the 90 here. Hatate to McCowan. It's got an overlapping run, but it's a dreadful ball, and they just about prevented it going behind for the goal kick, and it goes out for a Motherwell throw-in on the far side. And once again the pressure is going to be heaped on the shoulders of Wilfred Nancy, the Celtic manager.
Yeah, it was a simple ball there from McCowan, just a slip. Engels in, he's got a good delivery on him, Engels, but if you overhit the pass, not going to happen, and that's their decision making today has been very, very poor across the team. When you've got 3 centre half booked, it tells you defensively they've been really struggling. Middle of the pitch, they haven't been able to dominate it, and up front, nothing. What
I would say is I just think the last minute or so Celtic's been camped in the final third. You know, the end product's been lacking. Been a good save by the Motherwell goalkeeper, but for the first time in the game, you see Celtic with a bit of sustained pressure. There's not been much of an end product, but it's the first time we've seen that from Celtic today.
Livingston pulled a goal back against Dundee United, who had led 3-0 with Fata scoring in the 90th minute. Conor McLennan pulled one back. It's all over there. Livingston 1, Dundee United 0. The troubles continue for Livy, and Dundee United pick up a victory that takes them above Aberdeen into the top 6. The full-time whistles will be going elsewhere. Dundee 2, Kilmarnock 1, Hibs 2, Aberdeen 0, Rangers 2, St Mirren 1. Here at Fir Park on 82.5 minutes, Motherwell 2, Celtic 0. And Yamada trying to get himself forward. O'Donnell's there to sweep it up to his goalkeeper, who clears with the right foot. Trusty, the bouncing ball, decides to turn it back to Schmeichel. Of course, for Celtic, it's a small matter. The Rangers at home next, and that looks like a derby Wilfred Nancy can ill afford to lose, Packy.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be a lot of pressure on them in that game. They're at home, and they've got to find a way. They've got to find a way that is going to suit the way that he wants to play, but also suit the players. And I don't think this suits the players at this moment in time that he has.
I think that's always a big thing. You know, you might have a formation in mind, but do you have the players, you know, at your disposal to play that style of football? When you look at Motherwell, the team that they've got and the way that they play, it suits them. Celtic, does it suit them? It doesn't look like it just now.
It's finished at Dens, Dundee 2, Kilmarnock 1. Celtic have it over on the left-hand side with Liam Scales. Rolls it along to the 18-yard line there for Nygren. He finds Hatate back out on the far side. Motherwell defending.
But you've got Liam Scales now in the ball out on the left-hand side. He's never going to be able to beat the player and get a ball into the box in the way that sort of they come back and they play the cross, and Motherwell just shifting the cross, and now they're back in the halfway line
again. Back, yeah, you're right.
They just don't look comfortable.
No.
And they weren't in sparkling form, and Martin O'Neill was an interim charge, but at least they seemed to know what they were doing, and we were even seeing some good form from Yang in his preferred left wing position, as McGregor picks up and pokes it to his left for Trusty, and out to Scales on the far side, and he's got it at the left angle of the box. It is picked up there on the far side by McCowan. It comes off a Motherwell boot now for a Celtic throw-in. Celtic have 6 minutes plus stoppages left. Motherwell are going to make a change here, and they're going to bring off Oscar Priestman and replace him with Emmanuel Longalo for the final few minutes of this one. And these Motherwell supporters have waited so long for a win over Celtic, and even longer for a home win over Celtic. They're going to kill 2 birds with 1 stone tonight, unless there's an almighty resurrection from the champions, who do not look like champions right now. And the Nancy experiment, even though he's won his last 2, it's going to be 5 defeats and 7, and that's a shocking statistic for any Celtic manager.
Yeah, but the way they played today, they weren't able to get control of the game. They weren't able to dominate the ball. They weren't able to, you know, in the games that they won, they dominated the ball and they created unbelievable chances. But that again, I've got to say, is down to the way that Motherwell have played today. They've been the ones that dominated the game. They've been the ones that's been aggressive. They've been the ones who worked the ball through 1/3 of the pitch and got their 2 goals, and maybe they could have got another goal also. I know Schmeichel gave away the second goal, but still, they were the better team, Motherwell.
Here comes Celtic with Donovan down the right. Misunderstanding with Forrest, as well read by Katrumbis, who turns it out for a Celtic throw-in on this near side level with the penalty spot. So the gap at the top of the Premiership will remain at 3 points. And both teams will have played the same number of matches now. As that goes behind for a Motherwell goal kick. It's again brilliantly defended by Katrumbis. He's not had a single failure tonight, Jens Bertolascu.
No, he hasn't. And touching, going right back to before the game kicked off, me and Paggy were talking about would Motherwell match up with Celtic in the middle of the park? Would they be brave enough? Would they go toe-to-toe with them? And they've done that, and they've come out on top. And yeah, and they've thoroughly deserved it. You know, tactically they've got it absolutely spot on, and Celtic just now have not been able to provide any answers to, you know, the questions that Motherwell have been asking them.
Celtic have it with McGregor, who will turn it to Donovan on this near side, and then out to James Forrest. It's all over at Easter Road. Hibs have beaten Aberdeen 2-0. Back-to-back wins for Dave Gray. Here comes Celtic. Donovan on the right. The cross is cut out there by Longolo, and out for a throw-in on this near side. Almost 87 played. Motherwell still leading 2-0.
Yeah, it's all nice little passes from Celtic, but it's not hurting. It's not hurting Motherwell in any shape or form.
You know, and even if they decided to go sort of route one and balls in the box, they don't have the presence in there. They don't have the height to get somebody on it like a target man. You know, so that threat's not there. So it's making it a bit easier for Motherwell to defend.
Callum McGregor for Celtic, midway inside the Motherwell half, with the left foot out to Scales. They need something to happen, and soon, to Celtic. They're in the quicksand, up to their neck in the quicksand, as the seconds slip away. It is Hatate looking for Nygren, gets there ahead of Longolo, gets it out to Forrest on this near side. Forrest finds Donovan, he's going to win the corner off Longolo on this near side. 87.5 on the clock. Can Celtic make this a nervy end for the Motherwell supporters? I mean, it has been better from Celtic in the second half, in some ways. Slightly better,
but how many? That one chance from Nygren, the chance from Yamada early on, which he should have probably done so much better. Nygren at least hit the target and made the goalkeeper produce a really good save.
In comes the corner, comes immediately back off a Motherwell body and behind for the corner. All the other matches are finished in the Premiership as we welcome listeners who've been tuned into the game at Ibrox and the updates from elsewhere. Here at Fir Park, Motherwell 2, Celtic 0. We're in the final 2 minutes of the 90. And if you thought Motherwell had been impressive before now this season, wait till you see this performance. If you get a chance to watch it back, it's been expertly dealt with by Jens Bertalascu and his players, but Celtic pressing for our route back in here late on. In comes the corner, which is headed wide there at the near post by Austin Trusty, and it stays Motherwell 2, Celtic 0. Ibrahim Said with the opening goal on 14 minutes after a wonderful cross from Stephen O'Donnell, and then an almighty blunder from Kasper Schmeichel. Eventually landed at the boot of Elliot Watt, who smashed it into the empty net with the Celtic goalkeeper stranded. And Motherwell haven't really looked back. Celtic have had 2 huge chances though in the second half. One from the sub Shin Yamada, one from Nygren. One was weak, easily saved by Ward. The other was outstandingly saved by Callum Ward. And Motherwell are heading to within 5 points of the defending champions. And that is a marvellous bit of work from their new manager. It's an equally good result for Hearts tonight as well, of course, and it's going to be 5 defeats in his first 7 games for Wilfred Nancy, having got appeared to have turned the ship in the right direction slightly in the last couple of matches, but both against teams that are currently in the bottom 6 of the division. This is a Motherwell team that's flying high right now.
Yeah, I'm looking at Motherwell here now. They're obviously going to have back 5, but they're line of back 5. They can push up as high as they want. Nobody is running beyond that defence. Celtic have got 4 in the middle of the pitch, all looking for the ball to feet, and it just isn't. They're just keeping the ball fine, but that's not hurting Motherwell in any shape or form.
2 minutes only being added on at the end of here. The Motherwell fans know that victory is theirs as Celtic come forward into the first of the 2. Which I didn't see the board, but I saw it being revealed that it is 2 minutes. Doesn't seem very much. There hasn't been anything VAR related tonight, but there have been plenty of substitutions, albeit Celtic made a triple substitution after the half-time interval, which tells you everything you need to know about where Wilfred Nancy was at the break in this match. Even though they were just 1-0 down, they were abject in that first half. As Hatate plays it along the 18-yard line of Motherwell to Nygren, to Hatate, to Donovan, rolls it to the right-hand side of the box for Forrest, onto his left foot. His shot is blocked, manages to pick up the scraps and finds McGregor. Now it's with Engels. Arne Engels shoots for goal, but it's a comfortable take for Callum Ward. We played 1 of the 2 minutes added on, and it continues to be Motherwell 2, Celtic 0. This is a Celtic team that this is their last game of 2025. This will be yet another match that they have lost in 2025. This will be their 17th defeat in 2025. And when you consider they only lost 2 in 2024, that tells you how far they have fallen.
Yeah, how many times has Celtic played the ball from the left, back into midfield, cross to the right, back to the left? and nothing. That was a shot from desperation there from Ingles.
Listen to the Motherwell supporters laying every single pass against the champions. This is a Motherwell team that, budgetary terms, are nowhere near where Celtic are. Yet Askew has completely masterminded an incredible victory over the defending champions, and it's going to keep this fabulous run of clean sheets here at Fir Park going. Hadn't conceded in their last 5 home games. That's about to go to 6. But for Taylor Asgard's goal against them on Saturday, which stopped a run at 648 minutes, defensively they're sound, despite the risk-reward game that Askew plays. And now, getting some wins, beat Dundee here last time out. Now, they're about to beat Celtic. Kevin Clancy's got the whistle to his lips here. There were only 2 minutes added on at the end, as it's bowled down the line here by Katrumbis. Trusty hooks it away. Breaks now to Watt, who clips it with the right foot out to the left-hand side. Longolo goes after it, it's off his head and out for a Celtic throw-in. Kevin Clancy blows for full time, and that roar from the Motherwell supporters greets their first victory over Celtic in just over a decade, and their first victory over them at Fir Park since 2013. 35 games without a single victory over Celtic. Well, they've not just beaten the champions, they've played them off the park here. Talking about a season where clubs have been making statement victories. Well, Jens Bertel Askew has just led Motherwell to an almighty statement victory here. A haymaker of a result, given to them by goals either side of the break by Saeed and Watt. And that long wait for a victory over Celtic Football Club comes to an end here. The Celtic fans are furious. Those who are still here, many trooping away into the cold winter darkness of Lanarkshire. But those who have stayed are berating the players, berating the manager Wilfred Nancy. He's now lost 5 of his 7 in charge, and with a small martyr of a visit from Rangers to come on Saturday. Well, Celtic's problems have been laid bare for all to see here at Fir Park tonight. Tonight is about Motherwell. An outstanding victory, and further evidence that this Motherwell team is going places under their manager, who in the space of just 6 months has made them probably the best team to watch in the country. And now they're getting stellar results to go along with it, because they put the champions to the sword tonight as the Motherwell players celebrate with their supporters. An electrifying evening for them, for the Steelmen, as it finishes here. Motherwell 2, Celtic 0.
The Scottish